I would ask my future self if mankind was able to cooperate with one another in order to avert the worst effects of global warming by the year 2050.
So Tony Iommi, the guitarist for Black Sabbath, the press comes down on his two fingers, his middle and ring finger. And in that moment, as he pulls back, he pulls the ends of his fingers off.
Contrary to all the other managers that would come on the air and they would say, let me tell you something. I'm the brain here, and I'm this, and I'm that. And Jimmy Hart was never spoke about himself. He always put the heat, he always put the importance on his proteges.
And that social and cultural climate is going to give birth to a lot of those genres. Look at the graffiti art that was on the trains when they were going by, the 7 train, the 6 train, the 4 train. Okay, these trains are now in museums.
For Secretary of State, I will go with JFK. And the reason I go with Kennedy is that Kennedy understood the international scene.
The reason why one should discuss financial matters and financial disparities, and that should be a focal point in romantic relationships, is that it tells your partner where your values lie.
I picked that really stood out in my life and really made an impact on me in many ways was space travel and the moon landing. I was 12 years old. My parents woke me up to watch live as Neil Armstrong took his first step on the moon and uttered the words, one small step for man, one big leap for mankind.
This is where people who maybe feel a little behind the power curve in life can build a heroic character, and in the framework with rules can actually become heroes for a few hours, whether it's you play every day, every week, every month.
Most people have more of an inclination to play sports than they do to be more cerebral or whatever. And so I think a lot of people, I know I did, I thought I was going to be a professional athlete.
That's a very good point. But why would higher life forms come and mutilate our cows or go after random farmers throughout the world? It makes zero sense.
Talking about being one, all of us being one. An article in the New York Times, in the magazine section, it was about how we as humans don't just live on the earth, we are the earth.
So I'm a therapist, and nonverbal communication is a huge aspect of my job. It shows somebody that, you're listening. It shows somebody that you care about them. And a lot of people don't have somebody to listen to them.
So if you have a situation with another country and one country is succumbing to your power, what is in the cards that country might just say, forget it, and I'll just hit the button?
When March Madness comes around, who's the one team that every single person knows on the planet is always going to be in that group represented no matter what happens? Duke. It's always Duke.
But to remind people of who Stagecoach Mary Fields was, that she was born a slave, and when she was 30 years old, that's when slavery was abolished, and she took straight off. I mean, she was out of there as quickly as she could be. Even left family behind, left her parents behind, left everybody behind.
What is good leadership? For me, it is selflessness. It is selflessness, and it's being able to reach in the dark and inspire someone when they are surrounded by fear and anxiety.
The jungles and the Hanoi Hilton, and the things that man went through, firing squad, execution.
The Harley Davidson captures the mystique and the aura that is Americana.
Guys and gals and pals, guess what? Once is quite fine, says Avi Klein, but twice. Guys and gals, we are now on twice a week. Wednesday nights are incredible. Saturday nights, that's the big one, the T-Ken Celebrity Tournament, where as of now, close to 150 Hall of Famers from the world of sports, music, and pro wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, AMA, and WGA award winners and nominees, all competing for the pride of the prize. Let's not forget Olympians. Guys, right now, because of you, we're over 4 million views in just a bit over a year. We appreciate that. And we also appreciate the close to 80,000 subscribers, close to 80,000, again, in just over a year's time. It's not a metric. It's not a number. If you know me, then you know that regardless of these shades and the pomp and circumstance, you matter. You matter to me. Whether there's a microphone or a telephone, it doesn't matter. You guys matter. You guys are making this a place where strangers leave as friends. You guys are witnessing us all having philosophical fun while we give you unlimited edutainment. That's where you take entertainment and education, marry those two things together, and what do you get? You get edutainment. Guys and gals and pals, thank you for inviting us to your living room as well, and we appreciate you guys, again, understanding exactly what this place is. I call it a scent of the soul, because once you walk inside this place, you realize that it's different. I'm not an interviewer, and this isn't a podcast. I'm a conversationalist, and this is an event. And we're proud, guys and gals, to have a sponsor like Progresso Soup. Our national sponsor believes in everything we're doing, as well as the streaming service. We talked about Amazon Prime. We talked about the things that are happening right now behind the scenes. We are very proud of those accomplishments because we're doing it while maintaining our humanity. We're having civil conversations, which is quite rare these days, even though it shouldn't be, but that's a different story. So, guys, right now, as you know, this black box that we call a show, an event, whatever you want to call it, is what you'll call it. It's going to give you such a wide array. It's going to give you a buffet. It's going to give you a plethora, a smorgasbord, dare I say, of categories that our luminaries and T-Can hosts are not privy to. They have no idea. I'll unveil them. They'll pick them. And I'll explain the rules in a moment. So let's get on with the show right about now, guys and gals and pals. Guys, I want you to remember something. Lift each other up. I want you to make sure that you rise as a team, because in this game of life, you can outlive your dream. You can push limits daily. That's the way you should roll. With kindness in our grind, you can conquer the whole. No need for first-person ego like a mid-90s Bob Dole. Scream your passion like Courtney Love when she sang for Hole. Lead with respect and humility because your ascension is your complexion. Wear it a ton like a torn-up undie. worn in day out by Al Bundy. No need to conform. Your individuality wins the game over the norm. So guys and gals and pals, let's bring in our first participant. Our first participant is a man that has a heart of gold and virtue that is true. He's also quite capable of slamming you in the ring, but he's a pro. He won't make you black and blue. He's an intelligent and versatile human being who offers so very much. He's also one big dude and packs a mighty old punch. He's one of the most intelligent and caring human beings I know, and his sense of humor speaks for itself as he can tickle the old belly. So let me bring him in right now so you can cheer for this great man. Last name White, first name Kelly. Welcome, my friend, to the Black Box Team Challenge.
Well, thank you, Mr. Avi Klein. Wow, it's been a long time since I had one of your special rhythmic introductions. And, dude, that's, that puts me on a high right out of the gate. I'm glad to be here. And if that wasn't a red carpet, I don't know what is.
Well, I did omit a line. I was going to say that we could bring you in so you can cheer him on through your screen or your telly, and then bring in Kelly, right? But hey, I don't know if we're quite international yet with the across the pond, but we do know that right now, guys and gals and pals who are watching and commenting, Mr. Kelly White is a part of TCAN. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. You are one of the most intelligent people I know, down-to-earth people I know. You have a bevy of experience. You served our country, and I salute you and thank you for that as well, my friend. Kelly, you're going to be teaming with Paul Mokeski. I'll explain the rules in a minute. How do you feel about teaming with, again, an equally intelligent, humble human being like Paul Mokeski?
I feel really good. It's, I don't say it's rare, but it's not commonplace too that I tag in with somebody that's a foot taller than I am. So I know it probably won't be visible here on screen, but I think that's pretty cool. I had a partner, some things come up, he couldn't make it, and Paul stepped in for what we do kind of last minute. So hats off to him. I'm looking forward to teaming up and showing the world what me and Big Paul can do.
I love that. And guys, on Saturday nights, again, I mentioned this, it's not about the luminaries. We've got, as you've seen, big names coming in here, but really what it is. And for those of you asking, they're doing this because they believe in this. They're doing this because they believe in what we do. They're doing this because they believe in the message. When you're seeing some of the luminaries on screen, I always tell you guys and gals and pals who are watching that it's more about the person behind the persona, and we're seeing that day in and day out. So the integrity of this place is as such where everybody that's a part of this show does stand for something, has a voice, and is about spreading positivity. And we could still have fun, as we've proven by doing that across the board. We are right now at our apex. We are about to reach our 250th episode, and on top of that, also, we are nearing our final lap in round number 2 of the TCAN Celebrity Tournament. It is really heating up right now. Mr. Kelly White, I'm going to put you backstage and bring in your teammate right now.
All right.
Mr. Kelly White is here, guys and gals. He is ready to go, and so is his teammate, Mr. Paul Mokeski. Guys, our second participant tonight is a native of Spokane, Washington, and he grew up in Canoga Park, California, and he attended Crespi Carmelite High School in Encino, where he would hear the fans scream and roar. He was a big UCLA Bruins fan, rooting for legends such as Bill Walton and Lou Alcindor. He used to religiously watch the Thursday tape-delayed game on Fridays at midnight, where he'd cheer madly for the great John Wooden's teams, but soon he wouldn't have to take a back seat. His father, Casimir, who graduated from Gonzaga in 52, was 6'4", while his mom was 6 feet. By the time he was approaching his teens, guys and gals and pals, in 7th grade, our participant was a whopping 6 feet as he grew and grew. By 8th grade, he was 6'2", and by senior year in high school, he had topped out at 7 feet years before he played for the city of Brew. He was selected as a high school All-American in 75, where he led the Celts to their finest season. Despite running into Reggie Theos and Inglewood, the team reeled off 17 consecutive wins, and our 7-footer was the primary reason. Crespi finished that season as sterling 25-2. A lot of people assumed that I was going to UCLA because of the big man connection there. No, he said. He decided he wanted to get away from home, and ultimately he would leave and play somewhere else. He took 6 visits to Washington State, Arizona State, USC, Gonzaga, Kansas, and NC State. But all that changed when he visited KU, as it felt natural and great. It felt like the place he needed to be. Call it fate. He played 4 seasons in Lawrence from 75 to 79, but let's talk about 1978. He helped the Jayhawks to a 24-5 record in the Big East Championship, and he was among the Big 8 Championship, and he was among the team's top 5 scorers in 3 of his 4 seasons, as his future was taking off like a rocket with an efficient piston, and soon he'd be wearing the Deers. When he came out of college, he set a goal. When he accomplished through blood, sweat, and tears, he wanted to play in the NBA for 10 solid years. He accomplished just that, and then some during his 23-year coaching and scouting career that followed his playing years. This man saw it all. If you stood toe-to-toe with him, you surely had some gall. He'd captivate you with his hustle like Bob Odenkirk and Better Call Saul. He was one of Milwaukee's most popular players, like an Orange Julius at your local mall. He's a humble, smart, kind human being, as his heart is way bigger than 7 feet tall. So give it up to a friend, colleague, and great last name McKesky. First name Paul. Welcome, my friend, to the team challenge.
Well, I tell you what, man, your intros make me feel better and better. So, like, Dr. J told me one time, you know what? He said, the older I get, the better I was. And I love that 'cause I'm getting old. And you brought up Cresby High School. It's
Yeah.
next month, I'm going back to LA and from here in Vegas. It's my 50th year high school.
50, yeah, 75.
Yes, that is scary to me. And, it's great to be on again with you, Avi, always.
Yes, sir.
And, to my teammate, Kelly, one thing during my 12-year NBA career, I wasn't a superstar, but I was a very, very good teammate. And I tried to help people look better. So we're going to have fun tonight and look forward to it.
I look forward to it too, my friend. And again, guys and gals, hello, Jacques Rougeau, who's part of this tournament as well. Nice to see you, my friend from Canada. Appreciate you guys. Paul, I'm going to bring in Jason London Hauser right now, but I want to bring in Mr. Kelly White first. Paul, by the way, man, I want everyone to know this without getting into detail, of course, anonymity. But guys, Paul's a great screenwriter. Paul's a great writer. Paul is doing some amazing work right now. I'm collaborating with him. He's doing amazing stuff. I can't wait to see where this particular project winds up, because you, my friend, have got a great mind and so much dedication for what you do, and I respect that.
Well, I appreciate it. I've seen a lot of things in my career as a player and a coach, and I'm kind of putting together a screenplay. It's kind of like Blue Chips meets Ocean 11, with some inside information that, inside the NBA, in the locker room, on planes, that a lot of people don't know. So hopefully, I really appreciate your help with this, and hopefully we'll get that out sooner than later for sure.
I'm looking forward to that, my friend. You are very talented and very diverse. Let's bring in a man who also is quite the Renaissance man, Mr. Kelly White. Kelly, this is Paul. Paul, this is Kelly.
Hey, Paul. Great to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, man. It's good to have two big guys on the same team. I like it.
Yeah, it is. I like that. I can hoist them up and you can swat them down if we have to. That'll work out for me.
Absolutely.
Or the other way around, because you're the guy who body slams people, Kelly.
Well, that's true. That's true. You want to hoist them up.
Hey, I body slammed Michael Jordan a couple times. Hey,
did you?
Well, there you go. Then we got it. We got it all in spades now. Then
got to see some of that footage. I'm about to bring in Jason London right now. I'm about to bring in Mr. Odalloc. As soon as I see them backstage, I'm going to bring them in. But guys, again, I do want to explain the rules momentarily. The first thing I want to let Paul and Kelly know, again, part of this team challenge. If you end up, of course, voting is a good thing. In this place, when someone votes for you, it means that you resonated with them. It's a good thing. It means that whatever you said, it definitely affected someone and they cast their vote. Now, again, if you lose, you're not eliminated, because this is a team challenge, regular season style, which means there'll be a couple of regular season games. By couple, I mean 10, 15. We'll see. We'll rotate it out. Each team will appear every 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. Not every week, but there's enough teams to go around. There's 10 teams to be exact. And once the regular season round is over, 8 out of the top 10 teams make it to a playoff round. The bottom 2 will get eliminated, and they won't make the playoffs. The top 8 teams will, and if you watch sports, you know where I'm going. 1 faces 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. And guys, let's thank Mr. Paul Mokeski, who's joining us tonight when the NBA Finals are happening right now. They're happening right now as we speak, the NBA Finals.
Yes, so I'm taping it, so nobody text to comment.
No
spoilers, please. No spoilers.
I won't tell you that Oklahoma's going to win by 47.
Hey.
I'm not going to tell you that, Paul. I promise. Guys and gals and pals, Mr. Paul Mokeski, Mr. Kelly White, I'm going to put them backstage and bring in Jason London and Hauser. Thank you, guys. They are awesome. They are classic. They are here. And guys, so are you in your living room. Thank you so much for being here. I want to bring in a man that's best described as an enigma, an unknown force. He's a student dedicated. The man knows how to cite a source. Will his scientific knowledge and versatility educate the masses tonight? He'll have to muster up all of his courage, all of his strength, and all of his might. To this enigma, this isn't a video game challenge or a trivia online. You won't be able to rely on your browser, but let's welcome in a man that maybe time forgot. Last name Odalloc, first name Hauser. Welcome, Hauser Odalloc, to the team challenge.
Hello, Mr. Klein. Always great to be here. You have created a very amazing platform here, and I am excited yet nervous to just jump on and do my best.
You are eccentric, but your intellect and your knowledge and your deep dives and your courage, you bring it. When people first take a look at Hauser Odalloc, they don't know what to make, really. But I know that you are a fierce competitor, but I also know that you're a team player. There's a lot of great moments in TKN history that have to do with you. So, my friend, are you excited to be teaming up with the great Jason London?
Oh man, I am super excited. I mean, I've been watching obviously this amazing show and the tournament, and I remember his amazing points on Leonard Nimoy's "Life Is Like a Garden."
Correct.
It was such a beautiful, beautiful point.
One of the best moments we had in TKN history.
So yeah,
It's the
I'm
way-
very
so,
excited.
you know what I love about Jason? He's in the present. He's very aware. In acting, I don't like that word like storytelling. He's very truthful. His work is truthful. He finds something about the work that he can relate to. And I think in that, at least from my observation, at least, in that he's able to take something that may not speak to the individual portraying the character. As I always tell people, I don't think you become a character. I try to tell my students you get to know the character because you have to be very professional with who you work with. You got to be in that driver's seat. A lot of people don't even know what method is, and they'll talk about that. It's so idiotic when they bring that up, a method acting. What does that mean? You don't lose yourself. You have to be able to raise the character. They need you. You nurture the character. You don't become the character. Jason London has portrayed some excellent characters, very diverse. And speaking of Paul Mokeski as a screenwriter, Jason London's scripts and screenplays are out of this world. This man doesn't need any help. This man doesn't need any help. So for the studio out there and our streaming service, why don't you take a look at Jason London's screenplays? I know you will once we get some more meetings out of those. This man has a bevy of great work. His brother Jeremy said, hey, I'll direct his films for free. That's how much I believe in Jason as a writer. So how about that? Hauser, you've got yourself quite the teammate.
I am very excited. I think he's a very versatile individual, and I think the combination, we're going to really bring some fire and brimstone intellectually, I think.
Ed Hauser, nice to see you, my friend. Absolutely, Hauser. I know you'll do that as well. Ed Hauser, watching me and Hauser, Odalloc. Hauser, I'm going to put you backstage and bring you right back. Okay. Thank you, guys and gals and pals. And Mr. Jason London's going to come in right now. As you see with Wednesday's show, we get started right away. We get into the mix, and that's what's fun. It's very high octane, but a lot of substance, guys and gals and pals watching. So, guys, some traverse near and far to see what many cannot before them. It took me all of 30 seconds to realize what this man is. And as I mentioned, he's authentic, he's genuine, and he's the real deal. Walt Whitman said, let your soul stand cool and composed before a million universes. Well, those words make me think of our next participant because he epitomizes that very quote. He's a man that could do it all and do it well. Whenever he speaks, we listen because he always has a positive message and story to tell. Benjamin Franklin said either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. He's an incredible writer and storyteller, and his energy is always inviting. He happens to be one of the favorites in this, guys and gals and pals, in this team challenge and in this star-studded field. We've all witnessed his talent, intellect, and vibe, something that cannot be concealed. As a human being, his heart cannot contain the kindness that his soul pours out. When in his presence, you'll be sure to smile. You'll never pout. He needs to raise, guys and gals, every single one of your consciousness in his honesty through his work. When in his presence, you'll be sure, guys and gals, to appreciate his honesty and truthfulness. He need not raise his voice even to let his presence be felt, so don't expect to shout. I appreciate his friendship as his talent and depth go several magnitudes of order deep. As a storyteller, his canvas has displayed art that will never sleep. As a writer, his emphasis on substance always goes underneath the skin. He, guys and gals, is part of this tournament to no one's chagrin. Be sure to call your pals, phone in, get ready to grin as I welcome in the talented and kind Jason London. Welcome to the Team Challenge, my good friend.
Okay, so we are getting married soon, right?
Yes, the answer is yes. I've stalled long enough.
Okay, it's funny.
I don't know. Is your partner okay with that? Because I got to tell you,
it's funny that we sort of like get into this sort of this business, like kind of wanting attention, and then all of a sudden when it happens, you're like,
yes,
a little shy about it. But thank you.
You deserve it. You deserve
Thank
it.
you so much, brother.
Brother, we're in the same circles, but I want our fans to know this because I say it off camera and I say it on camera. I consider you one of my great friends. You are a talented human being. I got to say how I'm always fascinated by the things I learn about you because, we talk about being a Renaissance person. You're not just an artist. You're not just one thing. There's so many different things to describe Jason London, guys and gals and pals, an artist, a screenwriter, a storyteller. I think that there's something truthful about what I'm about to say. I don't think you get bored very often, right? Because you have so many interests.
The issue is that I do get bored often. And that's why I keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Because for me, I wake up really early. I love being sober, and I love watching the sun come up in the morning, and I love having a cup of coffee with my kitties on the front porch, and I love sort of having that day to sort of plan what my creativity is going to be for the
Sure.
So
I like how you put that.
Yeah, but also if I'm bored, I go ahead and give myself that time, and I think it's important. If you need to just sit down for a day and sleep, sit down for a day and sleep.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
give it 2 days.
I like that.
Don't-
Don't give.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I like that. This is something that I think a lot of people should understand. Not all growth is loud. Sometimes it's choosing peace over reactions, and it's so important for us to be able to implement that in our life.
Correct. You can't grow a strawberry in a day, right? So you plant it, you let it ferment, you see what's there, and I feel like the same thing is a thought, or an idea for a script, or say a story.
Yeah.
We have that idea, and then we just leave it alone for a minute. When I paint my paintings, I do my base painting, and then I walk back and leave it alone. And I stand from 20 feet away, and I watch what that's going to be. And I go, oh, okay, now I see something, and Rebecca.
All these discoveries that are being made.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And, or Rebecca will see something in my painting. She's like, you need to do this, So I feel
That's
like,
terrific.
yeah. So,
Even under your roof, I love how there's a collaborative experience. Like, we can make our lives with our partners collaborative. We don't have to wait for scene partners to knock on our door. We can do it at home, right?
Well,
I love that.
another thing too is don't ever be afraid of criticism.
Yeah.
Don't ever be afraid of somebody saying, "Oh, well, what I saw was this." Okay, well, that wasn't where my mind was going, but now you just took me to a place that I actually didn't think of.
I like that.
I'm going to explore that because
I like that.
I like your idea better than my idea.
The only person, well, I shouldn't say person. The only time I saw somebody rebel against that very notion, which you speak of, I think it happened in Bill and Ted's. I think the guy playing Napoleon got pissed off when they were doing the high school project at the end, and he was strategizing, and they're like, "We don't think this is going to work." And he takes the beat and he goes, "No," boom, and he bashes them.
Hey, listen, accidents sometimes are good. So, yeah.
Yeah, and guys, maybe we have a deeper meaning when we say accidents are sometimes good. Maybe that's a little Napoleon for you later on. We never know.
Right,
guys, into a little history. Let's say hi to everybody here. Classy Times, nice to see you. Power Store Inc., nice to see you. Natalie, thank you for joining us as well. Appreciate you. Irene, thank you, guys. Keep commenting because you'll be voting shortly. Let's bring in Hauser to meet Jason, his partner in this team challenge. Again, every team will be on every 3, 4, 5 weeks. There's so many different teams. We'll see what happens in the standings. If a team loses tonight, they're not out of this thing. Hauser, meet Jason. Jason, meet Hauser.
Hello, Mr. London. It's truly an honor to be here.
Hi, Hauser.
Yeah, I really loved what you brought last time. You did a great dissertation on Stagecoach Mary. I do remember that.
That's a great script that he wrote.
That's kind of my dream project that I want to make the movie with.
Jason, Hauser's observant. He remembers everything. He does.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You spoke very passionately about that.
I was so honored to be your teammate here.
Honor is mine as well, and I hope I can speak for both of us when I say let's kick some ass,
brother. What can I say?
I love it.
Guys,
let's get her done. Let's bring in Mr. Paul Mokeski right now on screen. Paul, this is Jason and Hauser. Kelly White, you're familiar, of course, with Hauser. Kelly, of course, Jason London. Guys, I'm going to break down the format of this, but I won't do it every time because it's your first match officially in the team challenge. After the first match is underway, of course, when they come back, we won't have to repeat the rules again. But right now, let me repeat the rules real quick. The way this works is I've conceived and written several different categories. Those categories have several different topics that I've written. Now, the way it's going to work is every team can pick one topic of their own. So, for instance, let's use Kelly and Paul as an example. I will read out the categories. Paul will pick a category. I'll read his topic for that category. Same with Kelly. When Paul presents, when he's on screen presenting, he's going to be in between Jason London and Hauser. Is that some sort of intimidation factor? Maybe it's psychological, but he'll be presenting with those two on screen. Once he's finished, if Kelly, his teammate, wants to jump in and add to that topic that Paul picked, they get 3 points. Because it's not Kelly's topic. He may not be even knowledgeable about it, but if he wants to jump in and provide substance, of course, 3 points for the team. Same will happen, of course, the other way around. If Paul wants to do the same for Kelly, and the same rules apply for Jason and Hauser. When Jason picks a topic and delves into it, when he's finished, Hauser can add more if he'd like to that topic and present. 3 points will be allotted to the team of Jason and Hauser. Once every team has finished, or I should say once each participant is finished, if their partner chooses to jump in or not, the opposing team can get some extra points by also adding to that topic. So that's how you kind of steal points in this thing. Of course, after each topic has been presented, our judges in the back and our viewers will be voting. It's all cumulative. And guys, everybody picks one topic. That's it. Just one topic per evening. That's how it's going to work. Jason London, I could tell, is excited. How's Odalloc, Kelly White, Paul? I have conceived different topics. I'll let you know what those topics are. I've conceived all these different topics. When you select one, you'll get a chance to present it. Essentially, you'll get a chance to present the topic solo. When you present it, the other team will be on screen with you. They won't be saying anything, but they'll be on screen with you while you're presenting. When you're finished presenting that topic of your choice, your teammate Hauser can jump in and add to that topic. And by doing so, he gets free points. Guys, so once Jason's done presenting, his teammate Hauser can jump in and add to that topic as well. When he if he chooses to do so, there's bonus points for Jason and Hauser. When Hauser presents his topic and he's finished, Jason can then jump in. If he chooses to, it's not mandatory, and he can add to Hauser's topic and present as well. By doing so, you get bonus points. Once you're finished, the team of Jason and Hauser, once they're finished, Kelly and Paul can also come in and add to those topics if they'd like. You'll understand once we start going. Guys and gals and pals, Jason, I'm going to read you your categories, and you'll pick one. You're going to do great, my friend. You always do. Guys, Jason's been part of this network for about 4 years already. He's going to kick butt over here. So here we go. Here's the topics, the categories I have for you. Jason, the categories I have for you are as such: philosophy, United States historical figures, improv, pro wrestling, music, basketball, or something I call tell me a story. I'll repeat them. Philosophy, United States historical figures, pro wrestling, improv, music, tell me a story, or basketball.
I'll tell you a story.
Tell me a story. I like that. Hauser, those same topics. Please select yours. Philosophy, United States historical figures, pro wrestling, improv, music, tell me a story, or basketball.
I'm going to go with improv.
You're going with improv. Okay, that means you have a scene. Okay, great. I've written different scenarios, so you're going to have a scene. Mr. Kelly White, we have United States historical figures, philosophy, pro wrestling, improv, music, tell me a story, or basketball.
Wow. So how would you say that? That's a plethora of categories.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm going to go with tell a story as well.
You're going with tell me a story as well. Mr. Paul Mokeski, do you want me to read them again, good sir?
No, I got them. And, the softball is basketball, but I'm going to go with tell me a story also.
Tell me a story across the board, guys, almost, with Jason, Kelly, and Paul. Right now, we're going to find out which team goes first. Let's pick a number from 1 to 10 real quick. Jason, any number from 1 to 10?
4.
Okay, Hauser?
6.
6 is the number. Jason and Hauser, do you guys want to go first or second? It's up to you.
What are you thinking, Mr. London?
I'll go second.
Second. Okay. Paul and Kelly are going to go first. Mr. Kelly White, if I'm not mistaken, you selected...
Tell me a story.
Tell me a story, and so did Paul Mokeski. So here's how this is going to work. Kelly and Paul, please decide who goes first of your team, whichever order.
Do you got any preference, Paul?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I've done this a few times, so yeah, I'll break the ice.
Kelly, Here's how this is going to work. I've done a lot of work behind the scenes and a lot of research as well. I'm going to play a video for you.
Teach.
A lot of good stuff here behind the scenes for Tell Me a Story. The way it's going to work is I'm going to play a video for Kelly. I'm going to actually play a video for all of us. I'm going to play it not once, but twice. And here's why. The first time you watch this video, I want you to analyze it. I want you to take in everything you can. The sounds, the sights, take in the video. It's a short video. It's a brief video. Take in the video. It's a couple minutes long. When I play it again, I will mute the music and you will tell me a story based on the video that you're watching. You will tell me a story about the video. And it's a story about your own teammate, Paul Mokeski. So guys and gals and pals, enjoy this video once with music, and the second time I play it.
Oh, this is not what I expected. Okay.
Kelly White.
Me either, Jason. Me either.
Well, guys,
come on, Kelly, you could do it.
Kelly's got to do it, but Jason.
Tell a story.
Jason, you could change your topic if you want.
No, let's go. Come on.
Tell me a story. Guys, this is Paul Mokeski. Kelly's not going to say anything yet. He's going to watch the video with the rest of us. Get him, Paul.
Michael Jordan out there.
Yeah. Oh, what a fadeaway. High running the floor.
That looks like me in high
Great footwork. Mr. Kelly White, I'm now going to play this video for you. Again, for those who chose Tell Me a Story, there's a different video. I've got one set to Jason London. I've got other videos as well. Tell me a story. You're going to narrate over this, my friend. Do you need a few minutes to go backstage to gather your thoughts, to organize your thoughts?
Let's play it smart and take those few minutes.
I'm going to put you backstage, Mr. Kelly White. I'm going to talk to the panel over here. Tell me a story. Paul, what a great career you had, my friend. I noticed the fundamentals were right there. I mean, you did everything right.
Well, you made me feel good about myself, but you also showed me why my body is all broken down now. I've had so many surgeries.
Hey, so many of us would be so blessed. You had a beautiful, beautiful, inspiring career that we are all very blessed to have been witness to. So
yeah.
thank you.
Well said, Jason. Well said.
Yeah, it's it was back in the 80s, and Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson came in and kind of saved the league, and then MJ came in later, and it was kind of like the heyday in
It was the time whenever I was the most excited about basketball. It was the time whenever I just moved to LA, and it was the first time I'd ever gone to a professional basketball game, and I was able to see Magic play.
Lakers or Clippers? Hopefully not the Clippers, right?
No, it was the Lakers because I was in LA. Yeah, but also I didn't have I came from Dallas, so at that time I was Mavericks. The Mavericks.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, and I was a big fan. But also when I went to LA, I got to see Magic time.
That's so cool that you saw Magic live in the Forum.
Oh, I just got, and also not to get dark or whatever, but
right.
Magic got his diagnosis on my birthday. November 7th.
Wow, November 7th, 91.
91. So it was my birthday. So I remember being in a car with my friend, and I was just like, really? On my birthday?
Wow.
And back then, it was, it was a death sentence. But of course, praise God. It's not.
Jason, at the time, we all thought he wouldn't make it. The media, everybody at large thought Magic wouldn't make it.
Because naturally, that's the way it was back then. So
we saw Freddie Mercury, Arthur Ashe, Rock Hudson all succumb.
Easy. We had 3-day notice.
Yeah. And we really didn't know anything about it. Really, how'd you get?
It was on my birthday. It was on my birthday,
November 7th.
Yeah, November 7th, 91.
That's right.
And the
big press conference where he was talking to everybody.
I just remember I remember just riding around. Fresh off the farm kid, in LA, being like, whoa, here's the world,
Sure.
Here's reality.
Great comments here from our viewers. You had a great career, Paul. Thank you guys for watching live again and making this amazing, because There wouldn't be Amazon without you being amazing. You guys have really made this show. And, of course, Saturday nights. We call it the big one. Here, guys, Wednesday night, we're developing this team challenge. Will there be some rocky roads? There might be. But you know what? We're outside of our comfort zone. We're doing some art. This is not something you could see out there. This is not traditional. This is not podcasting. We incorporate art into what we do. And hopefully this challenge will tell you that. Tell me a story. Kelly's going to tell us a story right now. We're all going to give him our undivided attention, of course. We'll be on screen. We'll watch as Kelly narrates this video. Now, Kelly, let me bring you up here, my friend. You can narrate this any way you'd like. I am going to mute the audio so the music will not interfere. My friend, as soon as the video is on screen, you'll be off to the races. Now, you're going to have to finish your narration. You'll have to finish your story. Once you get that cue in the video at the end where it says wind things down, you'll know when to wind things down. So you have to also watch and observe the video. Guys, this is Kelly White telling us a story. Like we do in workshop, my friend Kelly, the floor is yours in a 3, in a 2, in a U.
Once upon a time, actually way back in the 1980s, last century, a man named Paul Mokeski, to be exact, a rather tall fellow, went to work. But he didn't go to work in a factory or a restaurant. He went to work in a place many people dream to show up and work. And that was the NBA as a professional basketball player. He was known as a gentle giant because he topped out at 7 feet tall. And even in the NBA, that is considered a tall fellow. He played for 5 different teams over the course of his career. And though he was never considered a superstar, what Paul brought to the courts was the hard-earned basics of the game. He mastered the basics: how to block shots, how to steal a ball and take a shot. And though he never shot the great big three-pointers or was the MVP of every game, he nurtured his teammates. He shared the ball. Here we're looking at a highlight reel that shows Paul more in the action than he typically was, because this is the type of player that really deserves the highlight reel, almost like the man behind the scenes, the guy that passed to other people, that would, put his body in line to block these defenders and get points for his team. He didn't look to himself. And he was an excellent free throw shooter to boot, which that is a basic skill of the game that we see highlighted right there. Here we see a 4th period, 4 seconds left game. This is where we see the admiration that the way he played his position, the position of center, was appreciated by those that he played for, as far as the coaches, etc. He was that type of guy, never hogging the spotlight, but always giving to the fellow player, ultimately to make sure the team did the best that the team could possibly do. And even though he was a gentle giant, even a gentle giant will finally have enough. And in that scene, we saw Paul take hands to the face, and the gentle flew out and the giant came in. That is something you don't do to a 7-foot tall man, regardless of how big you are, is put your hands in the guy's face. That's simply rude. But again, here we're seeing this highlight reel. Paul, he looks like a superstar here because he really was, but he wasn't the superstar that had to have the limelight on him all the time. He was the true epitome of a team player, not a ball hog, not a camera hog, not a spotlight hog. He made sure that whatever he did, every move he made, every run up and down the court, every time he touched the ball, every time he got under the net, the outcome was what was better for the entire team, not just him, not just in that moment, not just when he was in front of a large crowd, but every single time he did these things, these basics that he'd worked on since high school. Because Paul hit 7 feet when he was a high school senior. And there's probably other 7-foot tall high school seniors, plenty of them that don't make the NBA. He got there through hard work. That's how he got there. Hard work on the basics, the psychology of the game. Yes, basketball has its own psychology. He learned how to shoot from the outside, from the inside, how to pass all the way across the court, what the lanes meant, what each position meant, how to guard each position, how to make the most of a rebound or whatever, if it was simply him shooting from a 3-point or passing to someone else. If you see here, Paul looks tired, but you look at the energy in his body. He trained hard. He never gave in to that, I want to sit down, I want to take a break, coach, pull me out. He wanted to be in every second of the game. That is Paul Mokeski in a nutshell. With that being said, I feel very confident tonight in Paul Mokeski being my partner, because as this video shows, as I have learned myself and from Paul's own mouth, he is definitely a team player, and this is the ultimate team sport here.
Kelly, please let our audience know. Great job that you had no idea this was even a topic. You had no clue that this was. How
I was like Jason. I had a nice story lined up. I was going to tell folks. But,
well,
it is what it is. I hope I was at least semi-accurate, Paul.
I felt like I was watching a documentary right there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, guys and gals who are watching, to those who are storytellers and fellow artists, challenge yourself to create art differently here in this virtual landscape, in this digital sphere that we're in right now. There's more than just what we do to hopefully give you guys our artistic ambition. There's more to a microphone and a headphone and a keyboard that you can imagine. Present something that can honor people. And we wanted to honor Mr. Paul Mokeski, not only for what he did on the court, but he needs to understand that even though it was in the 80s, the fundamentals of the game never change. Doing things the right way never change. And it's important that he could see what he did on the court through the eyes of Kelly White. That's Kelly White telling a story. Now, here's what I'm going to ask. Paul, if you want to get some extra points for your team, you're not going to have to do the whole video, about 60 seconds worth. Do you want to jump in and narrate this video as well?
Sure. Let me try. First of all, I want to say, Kelly, I've played with some great teammates. I've played with Sidney Moncrief, Jack Sikma, run TMC in Golden State, and you're one of the best, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I was glad I held us up there.
I love that. That right there is what this network's all about. I love the love. I love the love. Absolutely. Guys, Mr. Paul Mokeski, I'm going to give you about 60 seconds worth for this video. The floor is yours.
All right. Once upon a time, there was a man named Paul. His name meant small, but he was not. He was tall. He went to work every day to try and provide for his family, his 2 sons and his wife. It was not in an office or on a truck. It was on the NBA basketball court. He played against many, many stars and many, many superstars. He was not one, but he was a teammate of many. He enjoyed his time as 12 years. He had some great moments on the court. Never got a championship ring, but his memories will ring in his mind forever. He did all the dirty work and took the charges, and his body paid, but he would do it all over again, even though he knows the consequences of those falls. He was happy to have a career that his wife and sons can be proud of.
I love that. Guys and gals, please, can we tally this in the back to our judges? 3 points for Team Paul Mokeski and Kelly White. Now, awesome job. Jason and Hauser, since you guys, of course, are on a separate team, you can choose to also gather some points if you want to tell that story. But the thing is, no video, because you're the opposing team. So you would have to, if you want to steal some points for your team, you too could tell that story that we just watched without the assistance of the video.
Oh, Hauser, you want to go?
Yeah, sure.
Hauser, without the assistance of the video, okay?
Nope. And is it as long as I want, or as short as I want, or
we're going to give you also about 60 seconds.
You know, there's some men running up and down the court, and they do a thing. Yep.
And they got
Hauser, I see Howard in the back there already cheering for this team. Yeah. Hauser, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Paul Mokeski was almost as the embodiment of the Detroit Bad Boys. With each finger, he had the power of each one of those bad boys. as you saw him take those rebounds with ferocity and with fierceness and with force. That right there would probably put the fear in the Detroit Bad Boys' Paul Mokeski.
Thank you for that story. Jason, do you want to add your own?
No, I don't. No.
You don't? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
let's tally a point for House Odalloc and Jason as well. Guys, again, that was Kelly's topic. Paul added to it. Paul, I'm going to have to ask you to pick a different topic, and here's why. I have 2 Tell Me a Stories ready, one for Jason and one for Kelly. So again, I'm going to read you the categories, my friend. Here's what I have in store for you. We have philosophy, United States historical figures, pro wrestling, improv, music, or basketball.
So I'm just going to comment on that. There's no video,
No.
right? So story.
No,
Okay.
there's no video
All right.
for these. No.
Let's go music.
We're going to go music. I'm going to actually give Mr. Paul Mokeski right now the topic because he did pick music. So right now in real time, I will scroll down to music and read him the topic of music. Now, guys, these topics aren't exactly black and white. I want to talk to you about something that we kind of ignore in the world of music, spending. Concerning a presentation, he said, step outside of the trees and give a view of the forest. So let's consider 2 issues over here. What is the future of the kind of musical endeavor that requires developed musicians and music teachers? What do the answers mean to the present education and training of music students? Right now, our budgets, they're being cut left and right. The arts, music, and dare I say even sports, they are being cut left and right as we speak in 2025. When it comes to proper spending, and we have to be responsible with the money allocated to us. As a former U.S. history teacher, I can tell you, we can't take for granted the budget that our school has. When it comes to proper spending, should we advance the cause of music in American life, in higher education, even if that means having to pull a bit back on funding for team sports, Paul? Or if we have to make this decision and pick between the 2, which would you go for and why, if you were forced to pick between the 2? And in many cases, 72% of them in schools, people are. Administrators are picking between the 2 because there isn't enough money to go around. Paul Mokeski, that is your topic. I will put you backstage just to gather your thoughts, my friend. And, of course, guys and gals and pals, you can let us know what your thoughts as well are in the comment section. Jason, kind of sucks right now that we're seeing a lot of these important programs being cut from schools.
Don't get me started.
Why? Well, what are we here for, right? What are we here for?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
What are we here for?
I grew up a poor white kid in Oklahoma that had to have, free lunches, and it's so, these kind of things are really sensitive to me right now. So,
We talk about them all the time. We really do.
I'm not. I don't want to get crazy political on here, but at the same.
No, you're not getting political. But you and I talk about this all the time. Let's take the names out of the equation.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Blanket statement. Does it suck that right now schools are having their programs being undercut from them?
Well, the thing is that when you take the sort of research away from the CDC and away from sort of cancer research for children and things like that, you're either on one side or you're on the other. And so there's, you can't vilify somebody or sort of defend them and call them, something bad. But at the same time, that you're standing on the right side of what's good. But you also, if you try to put yourself out there and try to defend yourself, you're sort of stepping in their shoes in a sense. So it's about, I think that God is good, and I think that everything balances itself out in the end.
Do we have to take a proactive stance?
Well, I think that we absolutely must. I don't think I think at a certain point you don't have a choice, right? I think at a certain point that you have to go ahead and say, look, even if you're super rich and you make a lot of money and whatever, and you're going to get a tax break, whatever, at the same time, that same amount of money would have taken care of, 1,000 children today. So it's about what side of history you're on, So it's a hard thing right now because you try to look at it from the other side and you try to say, well, I can see where they're coming from in a certain way about a certain few things. and then they go ahead and stomp in their own dick, and then it's a snake eating its own tail, is what I say.
You
know?
mentioned that to me the other day on the phone. I think life's too short to stay stuck in what holds you back, Kelly.
Yeah. So it's sad. It's sad.
Right.
I always think that history has proven itself to sort of come out on the right side. But the problem is there are the casualties that are in the middle of that actually happening. So they're not there when it actually gets good. So somebody that's right on the cusp of something about to be good gets killed, and then the good thing happens, and they weren't there to actually see that the good thing happened.
I always say that our country's become a place where the blind can go sightseeing.
Well, it's true. I mean,
that's
true.
where we are now, but we owe it to ourselves to.
Yeah.
The conversations you and I have on the phone are way different than what we're having on air. You're brave, and I know that sometimes, hey, look, don't bite the hand that feeds you, but I'm doing this right now independently until we officially get picked up. And I'm glad we're speaking our truth, regardless of whether or not people perceive it as political, because we're not ever going to talk about a person, at least on this show, in a personal way. I think it's better to talk about.
I don't consider myself like, when you like put yourself in a pocket of being called a Democrat or a Republican or and
that's the issue. That's part of the issue.
That's no, you're a fucking human being.
Mm-hmm.
And also you're an American, and you are not an American if you're not an immigrant or a child of an immigrant, unless you have at least 50% Native American in you. You know,
we're so young as a country. We really are young.
My great grandmother on both sides was full blood Cherokee.
You told me that, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like but also the rest of my family is English, Irish, and Scottish, and a bunch of white people. So yeah, I'm not going to pretend here to be like, a native, but at the same time, we are all immigrants. So it's just about being nice to each other, I guess, at this point.
I always ask the question, is it possible, I'm going to bring in Paul in a minute, guys, is it possible to dislike our commander-in-chief but agree with their policies? Is that a possibility? Have we reached that level of maturity as human beings?
Well, the problem is right now, whenever the commander-in-chief and his possibilities are all the things that he wants are that of the level of a fourth grader, then it's very fair for us to not agree with a goddamn thing he says. And so it's very fair. Even if he does something smart, we don't trust that that's going to be a good thing because we're so used to him reneging on something that he's already agreed on. All of a sudden, he makes a great idea, has a great thing. Apparently we're not selling Teslas anymore, because he has a girlfriend fight going on. So, so with no more Teslas for us. So, we're sitting back and we have this idiot, said that a bunch of other idiots put in charge. And I think a lot of them realized they were idiots and are realizing what they did because they thought the former, the former thing wasn't that good. So, and I agree on a lot of that. But they kind of got swindled, and it's a grift. It's been a grift. I mean, what president in history has sold, a Bible with their name on it, tennis shoes with their name on it, a watch, a watch that says rump on it instead of Trump, like it's come on, and it's all made in China. So it's tennis shoes.
A hot topic right now, indeed. Absolutely.
Tennis shoes made in Vietnam.
It kind of reminds me of Caligula, who named his horse a general, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a little bit. So.
Very good point, Hauser Odalloc.
Oh, I love you.
Very good.
I love
you. When I thought of these pairings, I knew what I was doing. I'm telling you. Hauser and Jason London, Kelly White and Paul McKesky. Let's bring in the aforementioned Paul. Paul, again,
wow.
I'll read you this very briefly here.
Please let me add it. Please let me add it. Yes. I'm just listening back, and Jason, you know what? A month ago, Teslas were awesome. They're just awesome. People tell me they're the best cars, awesome. And they're the best cars ever, Teslas, and now they suck. Wait a minute, keep your mind. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, didn't they have a sale behind the White House?
And they're now not allowed to make them in America anymore. So there's that subsidy.
But
either way, there's going to be Paul. There's going to be 10.
That subsidy will pay for the parade.
There's going to be 10 stories every year that we receive and take in. Those 10 national stories. I did this as a social experiment. We go back to 87. That's how far back I went. Since 1987, there have been 10 national news stories that have been throughout the calendar year have distracted us to the point where we forget the whys. We're meant to be distracted. We're not supposed to know the truth.
Look, if I show you my left hand, I'm going to steal your wallet with my right hand.
It's not just a Donald issue, and it's not just a Biden issue. It's not just a red issue. It's not just a blue issue.
It's happened from the beginning of democracy and government.
Just look. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, and I've been on this for a long time. Just look who he had visit him months before the election. His name is Orban, Viktor Orban from
exactly.
Just look at Viktor Orban's game plan, and he's following it to the T. It's like it's right in front of our face, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Ladies, but sorry.
Yeah.
No,
a lot of times.
Listen. The thing is that we know historically that every one of these assholes that want to go to that right side of shit, historically, you cannot really name that many that have actually come out on the winning end. They might have won a few battles, but they've never won the wars. And so what they do is they go in and they conquer little pieces that they can pick on. So that's what's happening right now. Let's go pick on a little tiny piece of Los Angeles that we can fuck with these people, or little tiny pieces like people at Home Depot. Let's go fuck with them.
Well, question, Jason. Let me play devil's advocate. Let me play devil's advocate. I like doing that.
Please.
Can't I say the same thing about Bill Clinton? In 1999, he got involved. In Kosovo. 1999, he got involved in Kosovo. A lot of people were wondering why. Why are you doing something that Reagan did to Grenada in '83? And the reason why he did that was because he was on a book campaign. He had 1 year left, and he was playing to the right as well. That's every commander-in-chief we've had bleeds as much red as they do blue.
They're a 4-year hire.
Yeah, they're a 4-year hire.
And you know that they're actually puppets to whatever programs are telling them to program whatever they're supposed to say in front of us, right? And then that's why they have a press secretary that goes out and says the shit that they can't say. Otherwise, why would they have a press secretary?
It's very true. That's very true.
True enough.
It's a very good point. And guys and gals and pals watching, thank you. Well, Jacques Rougeau, no, my friend, you are very intelligent, my friend. We're talking about, of course, a wide array of things here, United States politics, if you will. But Paul Mokeski's topic, as we go back to music, we're talking about funding. If you had to choose between the two, as many administrators do, would it be music? Would it be sports? If you had to make a choice, what would it be and why, my friend? The floor is yours.
Well, I'm going to take it from Jason because he made a great point a little while back that we're all humans, right? We're humans, and we don't bleed, blue or whatever. We're humans, and so I'm going to go back to the development of humans, our development. So, I grew up in sports, and sports is physical, but it's as much mental. And I love the game of sports, basketball in particular, forever because I was pretty good at it, but also I've coached for over 20 years. So I've dealt with players and their psyche and their problems. And one thing that sports does, whatever sports it is, it gives you highs and lows. Sometimes you're winning and everything is great. Sometimes you're losing and everything sucks. So it's not that high and low. It's how you react to that high and low. The old saying of you're going to get knocked down, but are you going to get back up again? And that's what sports does to you. And, I'm leaning towards I would pick sports. But on the other hand, I love music. I love art. I love plays. I love musicals. I love movies. And there's a reason why in all our lives, everybody on this screen and everybody watching right now, there's a reason why when a specific song comes on, it brings you back to a specific time in your life, whether it was good or bad, whatever it was, it just takes you. It's like a smell does that. So does music. I mean, I could sit there and when I hear the Eagles play, I know it was the 80s and I was having a great time. And I know all the words and I can't learn a language. I don't know why. I try, but I know every song every word from an Eagles song 20, 30 years ago. Why is that? It's because of the music.
Music is the universal language.
Yeah, and how it makes
Paul,
you.
I always say this: it's the scent for the soul, my friend.
Yes, and I know. Listen, math and reading and education is so important. But so are the other things. So is sports. So is arts. It's so important for the well-roundedness of creating a good human being. And that's what we're talking about. And, you know, people, my friends, I got pictures of guys I played with all in this office right here. They're going to be mad. But you know what? If I'm principal of that school, I might be picking art over sports and music over sports. So, you know, I just love it so much. I love music. You know, I watch. I've been married for 44 years.
I love you forever, Paul.
I've just watched the Tonys that I taped, and my wife Linda, who we've been married for 44 years this week. She's like, aren't you like a 7-foot basketball player? Why are you watching musical? Because I love it. I love it.
I love that, man. But it's the same reason why, and Jason can attest to this too. I used to write for Carl Reiner. Carl Reiner loved pro wrestling. Carl Reiner is like, he was a Jake the Snake Roberts fan. You remember Carl Reiner's watching pro wrestling. And you know this, Jason, now you just talked about sports and being the Great Western Forum. Like, I think art recognizes art, and sometimes part of ourselves wishes that we could excel in other fields because we're ambitious to pursue something and succeed anyway. So when we see other people succeed in something else, we're like, man, I wonder what that would feel like.
I'll tell you what, Jason. Let me jump on this real quick.
Yeah.
So before I forget, because almost every athlete I know at whatever level wants to be a musician, and every musician kind of wants to be an athlete. There's a reason.
Right.
And also, all of you want to be actors.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have the greatest job in the world because I get to be an actor. I get to be a fireman. I get to be a doctor. I get to be
an athlete,
a lawyer. I get to be an athlete. I get to be a race car driver. I get to do anything I want. And the one thing that I feel like I'm so blessed to have with the job that I've had is I've been able to play a paramedic. I've been able to play these things, fireman, or whatever. And you know, and I realize that everyone else doesn't realize that even though I have that job, I will kind of look at somebody like a brilliant lawyer or whatever, and I'm like, man, I really wish I would have done that. You know, so it's weird that you're kind of in this world where everybody kind of wants to do what you do, but you still find one of those that I'm like, I would have been cool being a fireman. That would have been great. You know,
do you still have that feeling like years after the role?
I just feel like I got to ride a dragon, you know, like I've been able to, like, I got to like do things that are beyond possibility. So
we've got some great screenwriters here in Jason London and Paul McKesky. There's no doubt. Jacques Rougeau, got to bring this up to your call. Great stuff, Paul. I watch The Voice 1 hour every day. That's from Jacques Rougeau, otherwise known to our fans as the Great Mountie, pro wrestling legend.
Hey,
Paul, I'm sorry.
Hey, I guarded Moses Malone. I felt like I was riding a dragon sometimes.
Moses Malone, to those that didn't know, he was so dominating, Jason. Moses Malone would miss his own shot. Hold on a second. Moses would miss his own shot. He'd miss his own shot on purpose so he can grab his own rebound. That's what Moses Malone did.
Literally, I'm going to YouTube you and like obsess on you tomorrow. I'm so. I'm so.
But we were doing that earlier. We did that earlier with a video.
I know. I'm going to just.
You got a jump start.
Again. I'm so honored. I'm so honored.
There's no doubt.
Man, this is awesome.
Okay, I'm going to shut up now and let other people talk.
No. This is
don't do that. No.
I told you, Jason. I told you would dig this. If it's an Avi Klein production, you're gonna like it. I told you.
You get me and Avi together, we will just.
Oh. Yeah. There's no doubt.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, Mr. Kelly White, do you want to jump in and add to that topic of your teammates and get some bonus points? The floor is yours if you want.
Yes, absolutely. Why not?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, first off, I do agree with Paul. This is a super hard decision. So in my mind, I've literally put I don't hate to use the word literally, but I've put myself in the position of this school superintendent or whatever that gets his, budgetary commands from on high. And he has to make this decision. Do I cut music or do I cut sports? Do I cut out sports? It's going to happen. It has happened. To back up, though, we have to think, Paul went all the way back to the beginning of human existence, basically. I'm just going to go back to the beginning of American education. It used to be the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. But over the course of this education,
the 3 R's, arithmetic was in it, A.
Well, yeah, I don't say they were the smartest folks back in the 1830s.
Yeah.
They tried. They did try. But they learned over time, and I
And
think
right
part
on
of it.
the W.
You're ruining my narrative, Jason. But over time,
don't let him throw you off, Kelly. Don't let him throw you off.
Absolutely, Bob.
Good strategy.
No, you can't blame a guy who places emphasis on the word challenge and team challenge.
Very good. But I think part of that was the American culture changing, and children weren't getting, the art and music, through the church, through, being at home with siblings, having activities. And it kind of did fall more to the schools as time went by and the education curriculum expanded. And then people found out people like to watch sports, even kids play. And it's like, hey, they'll actually pay to do this. So I kind of see that as kind of an economic incentive there, where schools got, especially in the 80s and 90s, where, we had all this. But now with the budget cuts, or the budget cuts that have come, if this comes down to it, I think we kind of have to go a little bit old school, look at it logically, which one of these really costs more money to have. I look at it, I played football, that's a lot of equipment. The basketball, the upkeep of the court, baseball. Sports sucks money, but it takes money to make money. That's why sports do it. That's why colleges pay coaches $4 or $5 million while a professor's making 75, because the sports brings money to the school, but you got to spend money on sports.
Did they sell merch?
Merch.
Yep.
Concessions, the whole 9 yards. It's the money maker for the education
When you
system.
work at a movie theater, the movie doesn't make the money. They're selling the Coca-Cola.
Popcorn. The popcorn. So when I look at it like that, I think a logical decision as I could make, I would allocate the money to sports, but I would work super hard, use every channel at my disposal to get the community involved, to get into the school with the bands, the music stores, the artists, the theater, to bring it from the community into the school. So budget aside, they get a room and they get some kids, and the kids get it firsthand from the people that do it.
When you start a child in the arts at a younger age and let them explore whatever that is, it expands to all the other regions of the brain they might go to later, even if it's not in the arts. And you must get involved in something activity-wise, sports-wise, whatever. That was the way I grew up. But I feel like just give them a little touch of it. Let them see what they like when they're younger, and let that seed grow. But if you don't give it to them, and you don't let them have it for some odd reason, then they're never going to have the opportunity to realize it.
Yeah, it's necessary. It
Guys,
really is.
Let's hear from Hauser.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we go to Hauser, hold on. Let's get some points for Jason and Hauser, because Jason jumped in. So let's tally that. Now Hauser's going to jump in, I could tell. Go ahead, Hauser. The floor is yours.
Also, in the vein of Mr. Klein, to kind of play a little devil's advocate.
Okay.
Here's a question I think about. Now, a very complex issue. Both have their merits. And with sports, with a team, you could build a camaraderie and connection. And when you're in a band, it's the same thing. Everyone has their role, and you build a connection, a very emotional, spiritual connection. But here's the question I ask. Now, when it comes to the relationship between an individual and a song, sometimes that song really helps someone define emotions that they're perhaps going through, complex emotions. And the question becomes, if you compare something like, for example, the Led Zeppelin production of Stairway to Heaven, those lyrics, that song really fills me with so many different emotions. You could take that song with you until the day you die. You don't exist. But can you say the same thing about an amazing basketball performance? Sure, you could put it on and you could watch it and it'll fill you with emotions as well. And perhaps you'll even remember where you were at when you were watching that performance. But does it have the same relationship that a piece of music has that they, perform?
Can I jump in for a second, Hauser?
Yeah.
It's uncommon for me to do so. Yes, because to some people like myself as well, sports is music. I'm going to pick a general idea that the masses can relate to. The Michael Jordan shot, 1998 finals, pushes off Byron Russell, hits that last shot to end his career. Of course, he came back as a Wizard later on, 3 years later. To me, that's art.
Larry
And-
Bird's over the backboard shot.
Yes. Over
I
the
was
backboard
there.
shot. 81.
I was there.
81.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this too. Can I like how's it like? I think
Sure.
it's changed too because like sports championships, you know, the whole town gets involved. They even do crazy stuff. And here's one thing that I've noticed over the past year. So let's say in the NBA Finals right now, Oklahoma City is playing Indiana. Oklahoma City, Indiana is playing in Oklahoma City the other night, and there's 18,000 people in their arena in Indiana, and there's no game. They're watching on a screen. And
Yes,
that's
they're paying
kinda
money.
impactful.
They're paying their hard-earned money to
And-
watch
and
it.
that's another thing too that I think that somebody and Hauser, I don't really blame you because you don't seem to be athletic and have been or whatever. But you have to understand the religion of sports, which is it's its own entity. It's its own thing. And you know, I'm going to put it very simple. I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan since I was a kid, and
Right.
I still am, and they suck, and they have since 1995. But I'm still a Cowboys
Sure.
fan.
Sure.
So it's something that truly is same thing as an art appreciation of some form. So sorry, keep going, guys.
No. I like what you said. And
Yeah.
by the way, cool to be as loyal as you can. And I could understand and suffer in your pain because I'm a Knicks fan. I will say this, though.
There we go. Exactly.
I'm a Knicks fan,
Exactly.
but I'm a Knicks fan. But I'll say this: when it comes to sports, Paul, you know, I always say that the playgrounds are much more than just sporting exhibitions between athletes, male or female. It's a playground for the imagination. You see, because you could become anything you want when you're on the playground. You could become anything you dream.
That's such a great point. Like how like when I grew up as a kid, tall, gangly, awkward, embarrassed to be around people, hated lines, still do to this day. When I was on the basketball court, whether it was during a game or maybe in my front yard, or maybe I jumped the fence at the high school across the street and played by myself and was shooting the shot 3, 2, 1, making the shot. I could be whoever I wanted to be. I could be a star, and everybody could be looking at me like some handsome guy that I wasn't. And
Well, but also you were a badass. So
yeah, right.
But I did, in my mind, I was this tall, ugly doofus guy. But when I crossed the basketball court line, I wasn't anymore. You know, and that started when I was a little kid playing in my front yard, you know, shooting those shots and actually being able to make some. You know?
Yes, that's what helped you find your smile. I love it. That's beautiful.
We had an old it was an old light pole that had a basketball like goal just on it out in grandma's field, like literally next to her storm shelter in Oklahoma, like we're out there in the grass. And you know, is when you would go up for a layup, you would literally run into the pole. So that's how we learned to do outside shots.
Sure.
To not kill yourself. So
that's so cool, man. That we all have these stories that despite our regional areas, I mean, growing up in New York City, in the blizzards, we play out in the blizzards. We didn't care. Now, as an older guy, you're like, how did I do that? But when you're a kid, why not? How could you not?
In New York City with those caged in like little courts that you guys had, those are some of my favorite places I've ever.
They're amazing. They're amazing.
But I'll talk about like Hauser though. You made a great point because Stairway to Heaven was my prom theme.
Was it?
Yes. So when you said Stairway to Heaven, I went rewinding myself all the way to my prom when I was wearing an ugly light blue. That didn't fit very well.
It wasn't ugly back then. It wasn't ugly back then.
Paul, if you haven't seen Dazed and Confused, watch Dazed and Confused.
Yes. Yeah.
To help Hauser out, though,
hold on a second, Mr. White. I mean, if you looked at my wardrobe, come on here. Kelly, go ahead.
You know, I like Hauser's question. But you have to think, you know, there's a big difference. I mean, I'm sure there's things Paul has done and seen on the court that are seared into his memory from being there, just like me from wrestling, as far as sports. But I think what you're getting at is the crowd watching on TV, watching at the stadium. But you have to think, this is, you know, it's a form of visual entertainment, just like a movie. So you compared music to a sport, but sport can also be compared to a scene in a great movie where Moses parts the Red Sea. As Charleston Heston. I mean, one of my favorites that sticks in my mind. I'm a big nerd, so I love The Lord of the Rings. And at Aragorn's coronation, when the crowd parts and Samwise and Frodo and the other two hobbits step up and start to kneel, and he says, "No, my friends, you kneel before no man." That's seared in my mind. That touches me. It almost brings me to tears. So yes, a sports moment could be very similar to that for a fan. So
let me play devil's advocate to Kelly, though, like I did with Hauser. I want to be fair here. Well, wait a minute. How about this? I never thought of this until now. When you're listening to something rather than watching something, if you're listening to something, if you're listening to music, it can have a different ending every time up here and here when you're listening to a song. If you're watching something, you can't help but see the same ending over and 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 over again.
It's the same thing with sports. With sports, there's no.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
a game, right, or a film. But when you're listening to some music, depending on your mood, depending on what you went through the night before or 5 minutes before, you may actually paint a picture with your paintbrush that looks completely different than you did a week ago when you first listened to it.
The mandala.
So Avi, are you saying you could actually get out of Hotel California? You could also actually.
Yes, if John Cusack did it, then I can do it. Yeah, guys. Right now, I'm going to get over to our judges. This was our first two topics. Our first team. Paul had his topic. Kelly had his topic. Of course, when I say challenged, Jason and Hauser gave us their perspective as well. Who do you vote for and why? Voting's a cool thing because, again, guys, you let us know who resonated most with you and why.
You didn't even realize this was a competition thing.
It's got the word challenge in it. Challenge.
No matter what.
I'm having fun, man. I'm having fun.
I didn't give a shit.
Team challenge, brother. You're part of the celebrity tournament too.
All right, cool. Then
let's do it. And guys, I love that. That's art right there on his fingernails. That's how much you paint.
That's dude. I'm telling you. Look
at that.
My hands look like I look like a witch because I paint so much.
You do. Yes, you do.
That's how much I paint.
I see that. Wow.
You guys are going to see that in the video soon. All right, let's bring in our judges right now. Phil.
That's all my
Phil, Justin, who do you vote for and why? For each topic, we had one from Paul, one from Kelly. Of course, Jason and Hauser gave us their takes as well. Go ahead, Phil.
My brain is spinning. This was amazing. All four of you just had me going. Let me check my notes. If I could read my writing.
I love you. You have sunglasses over your glasses.
What could I tell you?
I love you already, Phil.
Thank you. I love you too. Now, let me just throw a couple.
Phil, you can't steal my gimmick, Phil.
Gimmick.
It's a trademark.
I need to get that gig going on.
Oh man. Let me first say I agree with Kelly. Lord of the Rings was just unfriggin' believable. I saw all three of the original ones in the movie theater the opening weekend.
Same.
They came out in December 01, 02, and 03. Yeah.
Okay.
Every year.
Hey, give Phil his weekend. Look.
Okay. I don't know. I'm so confused. Also, a quick note to Avi's mention of the Knicks. I am old. I remember when the Knicks won championships.
Yeah, 55 years ago.
It was quite a while ago. But seriously, all of you brought up so many wonderful points. Starting with Kelly with the tell a story. What I look for is consistency. I want the person to be concise, to get to the point, and have a through thought process. Kelly definitely accomplished that. I love the way you brought up that even though Mr. McKesky was not one of these superstars, he was a solid player. He did everything he needed to do for the team. He was a team player. You brought up his humility. Those are excellent points. And in watching that video, I think you captured that very well. Mr. McKesky, of course, added on to that very well, giving his own perspective on himself, which is not an easy thing to do. Then moving on to the next topic about Music.
Phil, you vote for Team Paul and Kelly on that first?
Yes. On the first one,
Gonna
yes.
tally that back. Okay, second one.
Yeah. With the Paul's talking about music. Yeah, I'll stay with that. Then the topic of whether to cut sports programs or arts programs, in particular music. That's a really tough one.
Sure.
I think we go through it all the time in many schools. And yes, Stairway to Heaven, probably the greatest rock song ever written. And as Paul mentioned, songs can create what we in the storytelling business call a sense memory, where you hear a song, even if that song is 30 years ago, it'll bring you someplace instantly.
Yeah.
There are quite a number of songs that do that for me. I'll hear the song and I almost break out in a cold sweat because all of a sudden I'm back in that situation. I love that point. Oh, man. Then this is, I'm going to stick with Paul and Kelly on this one. Even though Hauser and Mr. London brought out some really great points on the balance that arts and sports have to have. And somebody brought up the fact that sports can generate revenue. So that would help keep the sports programs going, even if you had to divert some of the school's overall funding into an arts program. And yes, Mr. Odalloc, music can bring a commonality. I think Jason said that music is the ultimate international language. Universal. Thank you. Words are slipping out of this old brain of mine. It is the universal language. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
But overall, again, I'm going to go with Paul and Kelly. But guys, you don't.
And Hauser, we got to give credit to Hauser. Hauser was brave to go another way. So Hauser, you were courageous, man. Really good stuff there.
Definitely.
Come on now.
The devil's advocate.
Listen, this is not we're not in an arena here. This is wonderful.
This really is.
This is our living room. This is really our living room, guys.
Exactly.
I love this.
I love that it is.
I love it.
And to correct Eric was close, Phil. The Knicks won in 70-73. 69 was Bill Russell and the Celtics in their final hurrah. They won. They were a 44-38 win team, if I recall, in 69. And Boston somehow, an underdog, won their final one. No, in 72, the Lakers beat the Knicks in the finals, but then 73, the Knicks beat the Lakers. That was Chamberlain's last series.
Which I remember very distinctly.
Of course, yes. And that's why I'm very envious.
Well,
of you.
I remember because 72 is when I was born, so,
Oh, gee, thank you for that.
all over it.
That make you feel good, Phil?
Phil, you don't remember that event, do you?
Wow.
I was already hitting 3-pointers.
No, Phil, he meant 1972.
You don't remember that occurrence, do you? Jason being born? You don't remember that, right?
No, I was kind of busy.
All right, no. All right, just making sure. Phil, Justin, guys and gals, let's thank you so much for your time. Let's bring in Giselle and see who she votes for and why. Guys and gals, one more team after this, Hauser and Jason, and then we're out of here. Giselle, who do you vote for and why?
Hello, good evening. Welcome back, Mr. London. Welcome back, Mr. McKesky. Great to see you. Yeah, great to see you on a Wednesday night. Happy to have you here. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Cool to be here and, chilling.
I do this, Avi's great. I do this to meet other people like all these people. It's awesome.
I'm telling you, this is one of my greatest joys is how many wonderful, amazing people, that heroes of mine that I've met through this, whatever he is over there in the blue suit. This guy, look at this slick guy in the blue suit. Look how gorgeous he is. Look how gorgeous the guy is. Look at him.
I will send you a picture of my prom in my blue.
I gotta see that. He's got the red mic, but he's also got the blue tie that matches his suit. Like, he's looking sharp right now.
Totally inspired by 70s Paul Mokeski wear.
It's pretty spiffy, not gonna lie.
Your point throw was spiffy. You're always on brand. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. So please.
Great. Yes. So for the first topic, for Kelly's Tell Me a Story, I was looking to be drawn into the entire world and atmosphere. I was looking for rising at. I'm just going to steal the chart.
Okay.
I was looking for a beginning, middle, and end. I was looking for that climax.
Yeah, remember this got laid on us at the last minute.
Right.
Thank you,
Oh no,
Jason.
well aware.
Good point.
I
Good
had my
point,
match
Jason.
a few weeks ago. It's yeah.
This is challenging as hell. Yeah.
It is. And Black Box is always like this. We receive the topics at the time of the show. We never know what they're going to be until right then. You've got to go back and watch some past episodes, Mr. London, because it's always a treat and we never know what we're going to have. So Kelly jumping in, being able to organize his thoughts in that way in such a short time, drawing me into the story, creating an atmosphere so that I felt like I was right there in that world, watching everything, hearing, I was completely absorbed. And then Mr. McKesky came in and added a little bit of sweetness to this story. And that was really lovely to hear from the different perspectives. And you can tell you're a very humble Mr. McKesky.
Yeah.
And I've said several things in the comments. Reliability can lead to longevity. So you had a 12-year athletic career. That is nothing to sneeze at. That's incredible. Kudos
And we're
to
just
you.
talking NBA. We're just talking as an active player in the NBA. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. So for Tell Me a Story, for Kelly's Tell Me a Story, my vote is going to the team of Kelly J. White and Paul McKesky.
Okay. Appreciate you, Giselle. And that's
then we had the second topic, also very near and dear to my heart as a storyteller. And again, so many thoughts. Some I wrote in the comments, some I didn't because I wanted to be able to express them here.
Sure.
Even one of the ones I did write in the comment section as well. Even the community rallied around Harold Hill by the end of The Music Man. And Paul, being able to hear your other interests and hobbies and what you like and how multidimensional and multifaceted you are is a treat. And this is such a difficult topic because both sports and the arts have so much value. And I'm a huge advocate of arts education. Hello, Antonio. Thank you for tuning in tonight. You are in the middle of a fantastic team challenge match. Sports maybe a bit more geared toward teamwork, although theater and dance aspects can create that as well. Both have coaches or directors, somebody guiding them. And for me, it kind of comes down to what.
Not the Knicks. They just fired their coach.
Hey, look.
The Knicks just fired Tom Thibodeau. Why did Tom Thibodeau. What else do they want from this guy to draw blood? He took this team that overachieved, and they fired this guy after taking him to the conference finals.
Wait. When he took over, they were 17 wins. They were the worst team in the league.
Yes, exactly. And what does he get? He gets laid off after the Eastern Conference Finals.
No. He gets $30 million for the next 3 years. Not the coach. Not the coach.
Good parting prize. Yeah, you're right about that.
I'm a lifelong Saints fan. I feel your pain. Different sport, I know,
because lately the Saints don't need an S. Just the Aints.
Yeah, don't remind me of the 80s and 90s. Yeah, well aware. Giants tried to steal that from us, and they can't because their letters are in the wrong order.
That's
but
true. Jason's a Dallas Cowboy fan, so he's not. He's used to this. He's totally used to this. Yeah.
Oh goodness. But sure, people can teach themselves how to play instruments. I think that's a little bit more difficult than figuring out how to play a pickup game of something in the yard. And music especially stimulates both hemispheres of the brain. You've got that left and right action, and it has been proven to help people with those 3 R's, particularly the arithmetic, because of that stimulation. So ultimately, my vote for the second topic is, again, going to the team of Paul McKesky and Kelly J. White.
Appreciate that. Let's tally on the back. Thank you, Giselle. And guys, our final judge for this topic is Miranda. We'll bring her in and see who she votes for. And then we are off to the races for our final topic. for Hauser and for Jason London. Miranda, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you, Paul and Jason. Hello, and of course Kelly and Howard too. Hauser. I really loved both of these topics. This was an amazing conversation, especially the music one, because I love music as well. If I could sing better, I would have definitely been a musician, but I love storytelling too, so that's cool. But I definitely love to sing in the shower. So the Tell Me a Story by Kelly was really awesome. I think he summed everything up about McKesky and that video. And that was really nice for me to see as someone who didn't grow up in that era, of how amazing you were.
Wait a minute, I just have to interject. You just met Paul Nordy. You're calling him McKesky? No, Mister. It's
Paul
just McKesky. No, you just said McKesky.
I didn't call me
Paul
Coach
McKesky.
It's Coach.
It's Coach
McKesky.
or Overlord.
Coach
Overlord. I don't know what to do, but I'm just doing this. I thought that really summed it up really well.
I did always want to play Darth Vader, by the way, but hey.
Yeah.
I could see
7-foot Darth Vader, man. He was intimidating enough.
That would be something else. That would be cool. I thought it summed it up really well. And I loved your comments. And then I loved hearing Paul talk about his own experiences. And also I wrote down how you spoke about how your body took such a toll with your career. And I think that just shows your dedication to, your basketball careers, that you gave it your all. And you did a great job doing so. And like everyone said, you're a team player and you did everything you could for the team that you were playing for. So that was really awesome to see. I really loved the music. Well, so for the first topic, Kelly and Paul, because I thought that was really moving. I love hearing about people's backgrounds and what you've gone through in your life and how, successful you were. And it's inspiring to me. And then the music one, that was, like I said, a great conversation, and the back and forth between everybody. And Jason and Hauser had some really good comments as well about how music can move you, but also how sports can move you too. Because I know some diehard sports fans and they're really loyal to their teams, like how you said, Jason, with the Cowboys and the Knicks, Avi, and how you're so loyal to the team. And it really moves you every time you're watching your team and you get so passionate about it. I've never felt that way. I'm more on the music side, but I loved hearing the back and forth. And I think Paul and Kelly, my vote goes to them too with this one, because they summed that up really well. And they kind of had opposing views at one point with the sports and the music. I think that they should equally be funded, and music doesn't get enough, I think, funding compared to sports usually. I know my high school was like that for sure. They really honed in on the sports and we won a lot of championships and yada, yada. But music is very important, I feel, and it can evoke a lot of emotions and help people in their healing processes. And I think it's important to do that as well.
You know a lot about that. You are a therapist, helping people in the mental health field as you do. Appreciate your votes as well, Miranda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, guys, our judges. Yeah, no doubt. Guys, right now we're going to move over to Team Hauser and Team Jason London. Hauser, you're going to pick a different topic, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but you're going to pick something different. Jason did pick, he could change it if he wants, but he picked Tell Me a Story. Jason, do you want to stick with that or change it?
Or what are the other options?
Well, here are the other options we have.
Sucked at that one, so.
Well, no, it's a different video, my friend. It's a different video. You might actually like this video, but hey, I'm not going to tell you what it is.
We didn't like the other video?
How long is this show going on?
You're acting like you've never done this. You're acting like you've never done this show. Jason, you've done this show 97 times, my friend. The topics that we have here are philosophy, United States historical figures, pro wrestling, improv, music, tell me a story, or basketball. What would you like?
Improv.
You're going to do improv. You want to do a scene?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, Jason's going to do a scene. Let me give him the scenario of this particular scene. So, guys, as I scroll down for improv, here's the scenario I have for Jason. He'll be portraying a character named Sam. Sam is on a first date. His date is a woman named Mickey Mumbles. They're having dinner at a French restaurant. Mickey's actually quite well-spoken, but tends to mumble to herself. She mumbles to herself after finishing a sentence. Sam, portrayed by Jason, wants to get out of there, but he's evading the law. Hence this first date. That's why he's on this first date. He's evading the law. Sam stole a moose head. You're on a first date. You're on a date with a woman named Mickey. You guys are having dinner at a French restaurant. She mumbles a lot. The reason why you're on this date is because you're evading the law. You stole a moose head. You're afraid to get caught because you noticed a cop enter the restaurant while you're having dinner with Mickey. A cop enters the restaurant. You can go to the bathroom. You can leave. You can stay. That's all up to you. That's about as simple as it gets. So, guys, that's the scene for Jason London. Of course, we're going to have somebody play Mickey as well. Mickey mumbles. We'll have Miranda play Mickey. So let's bring you up here for this scene over here. And the cop will be played by Kelly White. Eventually, Kelly will be on screen. And that's when Jason's character realizes he might be in trouble because the cop is on screen. So again,
because I killed a moose with my car.
You stole a moose head.
I got this one. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I thought you said you don't want a lot of information, so I'm just kind of keeping it short. All right, so here's the scene, guys. As soon as I begin, they're at the dinner table. Food's already been served to them. The floor is yours.
Wow! Look at this spaghetti. I can't believe this spaghetti is so good. Okay. So how is it going?
I really hope you guys enjoy this moose that I hit with my car tonight.
You have what happened? What did he say?
I hit it with my car tonight.
You hit a moose with your car tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm on this day. Okay, that's crazy. What happened to your car?
I think we should all take it back and cook it.
You want to cook them? Okay, he wants to cook the moose. Okay. You're gonna cook the moose. I've never had moose meat.
It might take a couple of days, so you should come hang out with me and my family.
I've never had moose meat. Have you had that? How does it taste?
Well, I've had everything bear, all those other things. I left one in the middle of Central Park once, but that's okay. I don't know.
Okay, I think he's crazy. I think I need to leave now. Yeah, I know. Central Park is amazing. I've been there a bunch of times and it's really cool. So that's awesome that you cooked a moose in Central Park.
Well, I mean, if you can swim in some sewer water, you can eat moose.
You can eat the moose in sewer water?
Oh yeah.
I'm learning so much from you.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me, folks. Hate to break up your dinner here, but I'm Officer Kebab, and I'm looking for a Sam Schickengruber. Are you Sam Schickengruber, sir?
No, sir. I'm a junior.
You're a junior, okay. So you're Sam Schickengruber Jr., is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god, this is terrible. No, this is
And you, young lady, can I get your name, please?
My name? It's Mickey.
Yeah.
Mumbles. I just
Seriously,
officer?
Mumbles?
Yes.
I like your name.
I don't know why they even call me that. I mean, I don't even think I mumble that much. I don't even know why they call me.
Well, usually you get your last name because it's your parents' last name. Are you giving me a different story or what?
Listen, officer, I just met this man and I don't know what's going on. So
you just met this man. How did you meet this man? Is this one of those
I'm trying to eat my spaghetti.
Tenderizer dates or something?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, I hate to tell you, Miss Mumbles.
Yes.
I think your new boyfriend here might have to be coming with me.
Hey, let's not push it that far, pal. We're just friends.
You just calm down. I'm asking the question here, Sammy Jr. Okay, so sit down and shut up. Now, Miss Mumbles, how did you get to the restaurant? Did you drive with Mr. Sammy? Did you take a cab? Did you walk? Did you call him?
No, I didn't. And now that Mr. Sammy wants to say that we're just friends, maybe I should tell this officer how you got to the restaurant.
I'd like to hear how you got to the restaurant. Would you like to tell me that, Miss Mumbles?
She was telling me before you got here.
She was telling you. No, I'm listening to her. You be quiet.
She was warning me about you before she got here. Before you got here.
How? I didn't even know you were going to be here, officer. I don't know what this man is talking about.
I got a hot tip from the Major D.
I'm not going down for this. He has a moose head in his back pocket. I don't know how he even got it there, but I'm not going down for that. I don't know. Like, his car is probably outside in a bush somewhere. So I would go look.
Good. Weird is good. Weird is good. You're loud in the restaurant. You're so loud, cop. So loud.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm from New York. What can I say?
Bad enough they got to hear mumbling and moose heads and everything else.
I mean,
guys,
I figured why not do something silly, right?
you made a choice. You made a bold
I
choice.
liked it.
There you go. He made a bold choice, which is what you should do when you audition. Make a bold choice. Why not? But
you should have done that.
But that would have stole Mickey Mumbles' thunder because she was the one mumbling. We need to get over.
I have a challenge.
Yes.
Tell a story in 2 words each. So each person gets 2 words.
Okay.
Right?
Do we connect it? Is it a thread, Jason? Is it a thread?
Right. So I say this.
Okay.
He's dead. Go.
Who do you want to go? Just tell us.
So then somebody says 2 words.
Right. So just tell us what order are we doing. Let's do this order. Jason, Miranda, Kelly, Avi. Go ahead.
Right. Here we go. So ready?
Yes.
He's dead.
Or alive.
Who knows?
Fuck him. Guys. That's a fun
Sorry. It was a good
There we go. But if you put that
in this is going to be my first screenplay. I'm writing it down.
However, what I want is everyone to see that with no time at all, these guys took a scene that had so many elaborate details and they painted a picture. They chose one specific thing, one quality, and accentuated that. Mumbling or whatever quality they used in that summation that I gave you. So it's very important to unpack something like that and challenge yourself. You did something that had so many details.
Also, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be silly. Like,
don't be afraid to be silly. Yes, exactly.
Don't be afraid.
But next time, Jason, you said it was a silly scene. Next time, I'll give you something out of C-SPAN 3 if you want.
Honestly, I loved
do
it.
C-SPAN 3.
It turned into something I really
Good.
really enjoyed. That was fun.
No, I'm glad. That's what it's all about here. Hauser, I'm going to give you an improv, and then we're out of here. So let's bring in Hauser Odalloc and Mr. Paul Mokeski. And Paul.
Wait, I have one question. I
like your wardrobe. I was kidding.
Can I? No, I want to ask Jason a question.
Yes.
Are you head of the health department now?
See that he picked up what I was throwing down.
Yes,
he picked up what I was throwing down.
There was a lot of subtleties in there in that scene. Guys, right now Hauser's improv, and then we're out of here. Hauser, here is the scene I have for you, my friend. You'll be portraying a character named Dennis. You're nervous because you're interviewing for your dream job as a CBS News analyst, so you're super nervous. Now, the thing, you have this tendency when you're nervous, Hauser, you tend to whisper the alphabet to yourself in mid-speech. You whisper the alphabet to yourself. And you also had a fillet of sole earlier, but you squeezed on a lemon too hard, and now you got lemon juice in your eye. So, guys, that's Hauser Odalloc's scene. He's got a lot of obstacles, many obstacles, as actors usually have. Guys, the whispering of the alphabet and the winking due to the lemon juice are noticeable. He whispers the alphabet when he's nervous. He's got the lemon juice in his eye as well. So, guys, the person that will be interviewing Hauser Odalloc will be none other than Paul Mokeski. Paul's going to interview Hauser. Now, again, CBS News analyst. Paul's the boss. He's interviewing Hauser. Let's put everyone else backstage. Let's see what they got over here. In a 3, in a 2, and a U.
Yes, Mr. Hauser. Can I ask you a couple questions? What is your technique for interviewing people on a nationwide audience?
Excuse me. Well, first and foremost, I like to know the audience that I'm talking to, and sometimes I even A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Sorry. I even do so I try and do a little research. Oh, Jesus. I try to do a little research to know who I'm talking to.
Well, Mr. Hauser, this is the reason you're talking to everybody, like everyone in the whole country. So there's going to be people of all ages that you'll be talking to. How do you do that?
Well, I think it's important to kind of know what the youth perhaps is doing. I think it's important to maybe know what the E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, to see. You got to see what people are up to and what they're doing, and be able to relate to them. For example, if a new trend is I don't know, throwing a water bucket over your head, and then perhaps find a way to incorporate that.
That's a great point. I have a very important. This is the most important question I'm going to ask you in this interview. Okay, so really think about this. Can you do that alphabet backwards?
C, Q, Z, Y, X, A, B, C, D, Z.
That's close. Hey, that's close enough. That's close enough. We really appreciate you coming in. We'll get back to you soon.
Does he get the job? Does he get the job, Paul?
We'll let him know in the future. We might be going in another direction, though.
Another direction. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Pete, hello. Nice to see you. Guys.
Good evening, everybody.
My friend, how nice to see you here. We're going to vote real quick. Start with the judges. Guys, this is a speed voting round. We're going to vote very quickly. Giselle, wrap this up. Who wins this round?
Oh, goodness. Pressure to go first. Mr. McKesky, kudos to you for jumping in real quick, not knowing what you're doing, not having a background in storytelling and the arts like that. That was great. I very much enjoyed Hauser's scene. It was a lot of fun. I think he hit just about everything that Avi suggested there. And I also really liked what Jason London's scene became there at the end. He had a lot of people to play with. Kelly, you had a ton of fantastic questions, really great character names.
Thank you.
Gosh, how are we doing this one? We didn't.
Well, yes, we did, because Kelly participated, and so, of course, did Paul.
Yeah.
Who resonated most with you in scene one? Who resonated most with you in scene number two?
In scene one, it would be Kelly.
Okay.
And in scene two, gosh, they work so well together. But scene two, I'm giving it to Hauser.
Okay. Yeah, the Academy gives individual nominations as well, right? We do that. So let's tally that. Giselle, of course, tally that as well. Phil, floor's yours.
Okay. In scene one, Jason made some very interesting choices. He went places I didn't expect. That was really great. Miranda rolled over like a friggin' bowling pin. You know, stitches get snitches. We've talked about that. Kelly, right on top, beautifully done. Hauser, I tip my hat to you. You hit every point, every one of those little nuances that you were told. It was brilliant. Brilliant. And Paul, right on top of it as well. My vote for this round goes to Hauser.
Hauser, okay. I'm going to tell you that as well. Miranda, you were a part of the scene, so you can't vote on this. Pete, you were watching behind.
Did he vote on the first one?
I was. Oh, did Phil miss something?
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he only voted for the.
No, he didn't vote on the first one.
Phil, the second one.
Oh, Hauser.
No, the first one.
Oh, the first one.
Sorry, give him time.
The scene with Jason and Kelly White and Miranda.
I'll go with Jason, because he did make some very interesting choices.
And in fairness, Phil, you did say that in fairness. You just didn't tell us you voted, but you did say that about Jason, in fairness. Yes. Pete.
My apologies.
All right. How can I go after Phil over there? But, yeah, so, Kelly, you were convincing as a detective, which you're, but if you want to have that New York thing, you can be like, hey, I'm walking here, you got to emphasize on, how New Yorkers are like.
But he wasn't walking, he was standing.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm standing here.
But they could tell that he's standing.
Yeah. And Paul, very convincing as an exec, but Jason, you had me with the mumbling over here.
I thought I had to play a character. Yeah.
And it was great. And then you
did.
challenged the challenge, so it was like you get my point for that. That was awesome. And then for Hauser, you hit all the marks there. You guys stole this round. My votes are pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Guys and gals and pals, you're watching something different. I talked about a playground for the imagination. That's what this place is. We stretch the boundaries. We step outside our comfort zone. And sometimes we throw stuff at the wall, and hopefully it sticks, and sometimes it won't. But either way, there's a lot of thought that goes behind this. It may seem silly, but trust you me, I will spend 3 and 4 hours to serve everybody here on screen, to serve them to the best of my capabilities, considering I also have a Saturday show to do, and considering that I have probably 20 hours worth of work on a daily basis. But I will not sleep. I will always make it about this cast and the people that you see on screen before you. That being said, guys, I got your votes as well. I think we're going to tally this thing right now, and we will announce the victors on Saturday night, because we'll tally your votes in the comment section, which will take a while. So we're not going to sit here and do that. But Paul will know, Jason will know, the cast will know. Right now, I'm going to put the judges behind the scenes. Thank you guys for doing what you did. You guys were awesome, very studious, very efficient. We appreciate you as well. I am going to talk to Jason one-on-one and then Paul one-on-one. Paul, Kelly, Hauser, anything you'd like to let Jason know before he departs?
I just want to say it's been a pleasure to meet you, man. You're awesome. If you look me up on YouTube, don't look at the scene where Barkley punches me in the face. Don't look at that one.
No, I have way worse.
But you're and to all you guys, all you guys, you're awesome. And Jason, just been a pleasure, man.
Sir, what an honor for me. Thank you so much.
Hauser and Kelly, anything to Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, total pleasure to meet you finally. And if you want to do some really silly scenes at any point, holler at me. I'd love it.
Hey, I'm here always.
But just remember something, Kelly. Those scenes you saw are not sillier than life. Life is way sillier. Those scenes have nothing on life.
I mean,
that's true.
For me, that's why I took a personal choice to go silly, because, satire is satire. And we're dealing with some crazy stuff right now in the world, and why not go ahead and take care of your own health.
That was like Beetlejuice meets
and Paul as what he was doing as a screenwriter, he was giving his character a bio, which is great. He was giving his character a biography. Hauser, anything you'd like to tell Jason?
Truly a Renaissance man, very intelligent, passionate man you are, and then also a great performer. So it's truly an honor, and Paul as well. Had a ball. I hope I get the job, but we'll see what happens.
Hauser, buddy.
We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, I've got work for you later. All right.
There we go. Guys, talk to Jason right now one-on-one before he departs. Paul, I'm going to bring you right back. Do you have a nice time, my friend?
Thank you guys so much.
You had a nice time?
Brother, what a wonderful opportunity, and what a great thing, dude. This was fantastic. And I kind of do like the off the cuff, unexpected thing, because if I have to do research, then I overthink.
You second guess.
Yeah. And so, the last one with the political stuff and all that, I was like, I was like, these guys are older than me. They're going to go back old school. They know more shit than I do. So it's about,
you know a lot.
So it's about yourself. Staying in your pocket, and also stuff like improv and doing stuff like that. That's why I went silly with the voice and everything, because I like to throw somebody off.
Absolutely.
Throw a curveball. Why not?
Well, I'm glad you're part of this, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
Brother,
I'll
I love
to
you so much.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Jason London, guys and gals. Love Jason. He's a great friend. What a talented human being he is. Again, Renaissance man, writer, storyteller, painter, Dallas Cowboy fan, everything. 3 out of 4 ain't bad, right? 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Let's bring in Mr. Paul Mokeski. Paul, I concur, man.
Coming from a Knicks fan, come on, man.
I liked your text when you were like, you got to tell me what this show is going to be about. I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell.
It was awesome, man. The people you have on are so talented, but they're also nice people, and that makes
yes. And I want to say this to you: they're talented as hell. The Phil, the Judge, the Phil, the Mirandas, the Kelly Whites, the Hausers, the Giselles, the Petes. They're so talented. I want people to see what they have to offer as hosts, as storytellers, and this is their show. And they're working with you guys, and the fact that you guys are working with them, you're kind of combining forces, and it's great to see these personalities mesh together, and you guys trust yourself the way that you do. And it's really awesome because you said, I'll go back full circle. You said that you're always a great team player, and I could see that. I could see what you were saying earlier about being a great team player. And if I don't say this enough to you, man, you've been great to collaborate with. You've been very patient to collaborate with. You've understood my time. I've understood yours. There isn't a bad bone in your body, bro, and I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. I know how busy you are. I know if you can take any time out to help me, I appreciate all of that. And I think good things are coming for both of us in the future for a little project that we won't name, but it'll be out sooner than later, maybe.
I think sooner rather than later. You're right, my friend. Cannot wait to tell that story, man. And hey, no one's going to give you any spoilers, but I'll say this much. And I got to ask you this because the series will be over by the time we see each other again. Indiana, did they have a shot to win this thing?
Yeah, they do. I have Oklahoma City in 7. Oklahoma City's the better team. Oklahoma City, they're playing game 3 right now, but in the first 2 games, Oklahoma City won 7 out of the 8 quarters. But Indiana stole a game, which is still a game. But nobody gave Indiana a chance. I did. I think they're young, they're tough. And I think it's going to go 7. And you know what? You go game 7 in any series, anything can happen. It's definitely, especially if you got this guy named Halliburton that seems to make the shots at the right time all the time.
Yes.
I mean, the shot against the Knicks when it hit the rim and went 2 feet in the air, like Don Nelson with the Celtics back in the day.
69 finals. Yeah.
Insane. That was insane.
And you know what? Here's what this reminds me of real quick, because why not talk a little ball? 30 years ago, I'm a numbers guy. Everybody counted Houston out. And when I still listen to Tomjanovich's speech, don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. I get goosebumps when he delivers it the way that he did. That was 30 years ago. They were the 6th seed.
Yeah, Rudy, when I was a rookie in Houston, he took me under his wing.
His career,
yeah, he was, but he took me under his wing, and he's that guy. He's got great basketball instincts and knowledge, but you heard what he said. His motivation and the way he gets his team behind him, that's him. That's him.
Well, you weren't surprised that he became a really successful head coach.
No, because he was an all-star, but he wasn't a superstar, say like a Michael Jordan or Magic or someone like that. And for the most part, superstars don't make great coaches because they expect other players to be able to do what they can do, and we can't. I'm sorry. But guys like me or Rudy or someone like that, they know what other players can do and help them get better. So it didn't surprise me because he's really smart. But
maybe you see the game from a different angle when you're on the bench. Maybe you can see the game differently than a guy who plays 45 minutes and doesn't really ride the pine at all. Steve Kerr said that, and he was being very humble. But Steve Kerr said, hey, I only played 15 minutes a game, but for the duration, I was sitting down, scouting and watching the game up close and personal.
Yeah, guess who he's listening to? Phil Jackson and Popovich. I mean, come on, it's not too bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, my
but
friend,
Rudy, it didn't surprise me that Rudy was successful like he was. And you just said what epitomizes Rudy. Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Totally agree with you there. I want to bring in Kelly White to say, Kelly, any final thoughts and words to your teammate, Mr. Paul Mokeski?
Well, yeah, I got several. I think we did it there, bud. There we go. Don't know, the votes aren't in, but Paul, gotta say, I appreciate you coming in. It felt kind of like last minute with everything going on, and I think we got a vibe, man. I think win, lose, or draw, I'm proud to have you as my teammate, dude. That's the best I can tell you.
I'll tell you what. I was humbled to watch my video, very humbled, but I was even more humbled to hear what you said over the video. Really, it's more special than you think. It was really special to me, and I really thank you for that.
You're very welcome, man. You are very welcome, and you earned all of that.
Thank you so much for your time, Paul. I'll speak to you soon, my friend.
You got it, man. Appreciate it.
Likewise.
Next time, brother.
Mr. Paul Mokeski, what a gentleman he is, Kelly. Huh? I think you're pleased with your teammate for this team challenge.
Absolutely. Yeah, wouldn't trade him for the world after this.
I love that. That's what it's all about. It's all about being able to experience something in real time and then say to yourself, you know what? I didn't know. There was a sense of unknown going into this, and then you realize that without any judgment, without any expectations. You see someone for who they are. Yeah. And I could see him cheering and rooting for everybody here on screen. It was beautiful to see. That's the kind of guy Paul is. I want to bring in I want to bring in our talent right now. I want to bring it because you guys are talent. Phil, Justin, let's bring him in. Let's bring in Miranda. Let's bring in Giselle and Howard Collado, who's backstage. I'd even ask Pete, if you're listening, Pete, sign in, Pete. Howard, first thing I want to do is to throw it over to Kelly, and maybe Kelly in his own words. Kelly, are you a little upset that Howard is just joining in now all of a sudden?
Well, his conspicuous absence at the beginning of the program irked me. But you guys all know I do the job in front of me, so I set that aside. I was going to address it, basically at this point, but lo and behold, it looks like Mr. Slick is in the house.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Howard, if you have anything you want to say, make it real quick.
Well, Mr. White, the Jay's not silent.
Nope.
I always try and show up when there is a challenge. And the stakes are high. Don't know what's going to happen. I'm always here.
Is that your intimidating voice, Howard?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not at all. It's a voice that's trying to take a lot of deep breaths right now.
Well, here's what we're going to do right now. Take some deep breaths because I have an announcement, and then it's Kelly versus Howard. Stakes are high there. Kelly will set up the match and let the viewers know what we're doing here. But it's going to be real quick. It's going to be kind of like a very fast topic, but I do want to also bring this up. A lot of guys and gals are talking about the 11th hour and their participation in the 11th hour. A lot of them are talking about what they're seeing. Peaceful Pete, let me bring him in right now. Guys, we're going to be seeing Mr. Pete and his teammate Jeremy London soon in a couple of weeks. We're going to see what Jeremy London. Pete, that's going to be incredible. Pete, I was making an announcement. I want to let everybody know that the 11th hour participants have been texting me, emailing me, and calling me about certain people that are in round number 2 of this tournament. Certain people that have not exactly shown their stuff. And that's on purpose because every weekend we're treated to a, dare I say, big name and after big name and after big name. And of course, they don't rest on their namesake or their resume, but they're seeing the talent showing up every Saturday, and they can't help it. They want to be on screen with them. So the 11th hour participants, to you I say, sometimes you got to put up or shut up. Now, you may not know who they are, and I won't tell you who they are. But from this point forward, at the 2 hour and 10 minute mark, 55-second timestamp, at this very moment right now, I'm going to let you know what I'm going to do out of the kindness of my heart for those in the 11th hour who have to win their match and then be plugged into a second round match. For those who want to bypass the 11th hour and jump right in as a mystery participant in round number 2, you can do that. However, one, it can only take place between now and the end of round 2, but even more important is the fact that if you choose to do so, you'll be in the second round, but you'll start at a deficit of -12.
Well,
you want to skip the 11th hour? You want to jump in with the second rounders?
Oh,
holy cow.
You can do that if you believe in yourself. You want to bypass the 11th hour, you can. And not to say that they want to bypass it because they're greedy or because there's nothing but positivity here. However, some of them would love to be on with a Jesse Ventura and a Jake Roberts and a Sally Jesse Raphael and a Nancy Kerrigan. They'd love to be on with them. So for the 11th hour participants, this message is for you. I thought about it earlier, and that's how it's going to go down. Some of you I know are not going to participate in a second round match unless you earn it. But for those that want to bypass the 11th hour, that are in the 11th hour, you can do so. But if you're playing the long game, it might hurt you. That's all I'm saying. So how about that, guys? Reaction to that bit of news? That changes the whole landscape, I think.
Wow. Wow. That's a risk.
Jesus.
That is a risk. I don't care who you are, but being down 12 points.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the names Avi brought up, Ventura, Sally Jesse. Who we got?
Jake Roberts.
Jake Roberts, John Anderson. I mean, there's just a slew of people.
Mark Henry, Stevie Ray,
To me,
Eric, it means that you start with -12 votes.
Yes, stepping into a match with them at -12, that's bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Good way of putting
I
it, Kelly. Miranda, can you please explain to Eric what that means?
Yeah, it means you start with negative 12 votes. So you have to get 12 to even be at 1, or 13 to be at even 1 vote. So you're taking a big deficit in general.
Yeah, you're behind. It's almost like in a sports game. If you start a one-on-one basketball game and your opponent already has 12 points and you have 0, you're behind that 8 ball. You got to catch up there. Pete, your thoughts on this?
Crazy.
I mean, like I said, I don't know who it is, but wanting to start out with negative 12, that's a huge mountain to climb. If you see the names already in round number 2, it's like that's a huge mountain for anybody to take on. You got to be a superstar. Is all I'm saying.
Speaking of superstars and mountains to climb, do you guys believe Howard has a mountain to climb? Because he's about to go up against Kelly White right now, one-on-one.
Story of his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he can never get over that mountain.
Kelly, if Howard loses in this particular matchup, and the reason why it's happening, let's explain the whys, is, guys, Howard Collado was involved in a tournament that featured at that particular juncture, it featured Kelly White, Megan, and Giselle. It's called a black box tournament. Before I unveiled this team challenge, before it debuted, there were 4 participants remaining in that tournament. It wound up that Kelly and Howard drew each other in the semis. They tied each other 1-1, and they never had their decisive match. Right now, they're going to have a match. And Kelly, if Howard loses this match, what happens?
Well, this team challenge, he makes a hasty exit stage left.
He will be eliminated from the team challenge.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But I haven't told everybody what happens to Kelly White.
No.
You see, I have to make this fair. And I did bring this up a few weeks ago, and certainly last week. You see, guys, there may not be many, but there'll certainly be at least 1 or 2 trades in this team challenge. Should Kelly White lose to Howard Collado right now, parting will be sweet sorrow, because Kelly will be bidding Mr. McKesky adieu as his teammate. But don't worry, he might level up, because his teammate will be Howard Collado in the team challenge should he lose tonight. Howard Collado will be Kelly White's teammate in the team challenge should he lose. Reaction, guys. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Who has more to lose?
How's that going to work?
Oh my God! It's going to work. You're going to be a team.
Wow.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, can I get past my?
I feel bad for Kelly, but I kind of want to see this happen.
This is big. This
Will
is
the J
no pressure, guys.
Not be silent?
No pressure.
No
puking,
Howard.
Topic. Here's what I call this topic. For Howard, it's called the guitar in a dream. For Kelly, it's called the wrestling ring in a dream. Let me set the stage for you guys. You're going to tell a story. Howard Collado, you're in Central Park. You've just been evicted. You have nowhere to go. No family to turn to. All you have is a guitar. And you're hoping that guitar will not only play the music that you play, but you're hoping that that guitar will give you the best dream you've ever had, despite the fact that you don't have a roof over your head. You're in Central Park. All you got is a guitar and a dream. Guys, if I didn't flesh it out in detail, I just came up with it. And that's the truth. Kelly White's got a wrestling ring and a dream. Same. Kelly has nowhere to go. He's been evicted. But he does have his passion. And Dove has his past. And he does have that wrestling ring. Because his brothers and sisters over there at the local independent promotion that he made popular, they're willing to open up the doors. I've slept in a wrestling ring. Kelly White's going to have to sleep in a wrestling ring. And he's going to have to hope that that wrestling ring gives him the best dream he's ever had. And they're going to tell us eventually why they had the best dream ever. But they're going to start with the moment they got evicted all the way to their final destination. And then they're going to let us know what it felt like when they went Betty by without a bed. Howard and Kelly, I'm going to put you all backstage. Hope you like your topics. They will tell us a story. Quick question. Has anybody ever had to deal with that? Has anybody slept here? We're always honest and truthful. Has anybody had to sleep in a car, or anybody had to sleep in somewhere that wasn't their home before due to any hardships? Phil?
Yeah, I've been evicted
Uh-huh.
and had to sleep on my mother's couch for a
Right.
while. Wasn't fun. It was very disheartening, to say the least.
Wow.
You know, got fired from my assassinated is the proper word for my job at the city. I pissed
Okay.
off a gutless wannabe politician,
right,
who took offense to me doing my job the way it should have been done, and I got fired rather unceremoniously.
Was this James Dolan or?
No.
Okay. For anyone that doesn't know that joke, that's the guy who ruined the Knicks. Enough said there. Pete, have you ever been in fear of something like that ever happening? Maybe when you were younger. Has there been a fear?
A fear of it, yes. And I mean, I could say because when my father passed, I was living with my mom at the time, and we couldn't afford to keep the house we were in, so they did take it away, and ended up having to sleep over, friends' houses, stuff. I slept in a car a couple nights. That's something I've never even told you that, Avi.
No, you never told me
But,
that.
but we're just being honest. So
Of course.
yeah. So even I've experienced that.
Sure. And he remained peaceful throughout. Guys, this is a comment from Joe. Maybe he did. I don't know. Joe says it was during the big move, but it was a big journey that was 52 or so hours made in less than that. Okay. Eric, I slept in a mission outside Las Vegas. Okay. Got you there. If you were in Las Vegas, you wouldn't have been doing much sleeping, huh? You know what I mean? Huh? Wink, wink. All right. Giselle, any fear of that ever happening?
I don't think so. Not when I was young. Oh.
Younger. No? Never had that fear. So you always felt that you were going to be in a position where security would not be something that losing security or sense of security would not be something that would frighten you. You always felt as if you were going to be stable in that regard.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I wouldn't say that I would have had a place to go.
Okay.
I would have been okay.
But what I mean is not home. Anywhere but
Mhm.
home. Right? And that wouldn't have bothered you.
It probably would have.
Okay. I want to get into your psyches, guys, because again, Kelly and Howard are going to tell us a story. Miranda, is there ever a fear of that happening?
Yeah. Growing up, me and my mom had a lot of financial issues because it was just us, and she was a single mom and working nonstop. And even to this day, she works nonstop. And there's always a fear of not being able to pay bills or to do certain things. So I try to help out as much as I can, but you never know how stable jobs are and or how stable the times are. So there's always a fear of something possibly happening, but thankfully I've never had to sleep outside or anything like that.
Sure. No jinxing. Yeah. Guys
Yeah,
and gals,
no jinxing. Right.
Pull up some comments
You never
here.
know.
Hey, there's no shame in this, and you're very brave, classy times. You're sleeping in your Mercedes-Benz as we speak. We have an air conditioner unit. I was there. I slept in a station wagon. I worked 3 jobs. This is back in my early Cali days, and some of the people in this network remember that. We're talking 20 years ago, over 20 years. But it happens. It happens sometimes, and there's no shame in your economic status. Your plight might not define you, but it's not permanent. It's temporary, and it does build character. Now, it's not a necessity. I don't glorify it, nor should we romanticize it, but there are a lot of learning lessons. When you go through something, you might be able to go through something entirely different because of that one experience. As negative as it was, it does teach you a lot about life. It really did. Like, I had to realize whether or not I was passionate as I thought I was when it came to my would-be writing career, my budding career. I asked myself that question. Avi, you have a degree. Avi, you could use that degree. Avi, at the time I wasn't teaching. You could do so many different things. Why are you sleeping in the back of a station wagon? Why are you committing your entire life to something you love? And the funny thing is, I always had an answer. I always had an answer. I remained steadfast in my beliefs. There was always an answer. There was never any iota of a doubt. No, never a shred of a doubt. Pete, you remember during the early days of my filmmaking, of course, you were part of that as well, my friend. So
I remember, yeah. I remember. It was good times.
It's great times, man. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's, you know, I say this, I want to say this more. What we earn is what we learn. There is nothing more important than learning. There is nothing more important than doing. And I think a lot of people right now need to hear that because they have stars in their eyes and they're looking at numbers and metrics and people succeeding in the digital sphere, right? In this realm, they're succeeding rather well. But why are they succeeding well? They're succeeding well because for the most part, they probably love what they're doing and they're spending a god-awful amount of time doing it. If you don't love what you do, don't do it. It's that simple because you are going to be as miserable with a big, large bank account as you would if you are broke. Believe me, you will. You'll be just as miserable. How many people do we know who, never really did anything about their major? They regretted it, declaring one way or the other. So, again, that's how I feel about that. Guys and gals and pals, we're going to bring in Kelly White. We're going to bring in Mr. Howard Collado as well. Let's see what they give us right now. All right, guys. Okay. Kelly and Howard. And our judges will go backstage. As you can tell, they're in deep thought, our judges. Very deep thought. No, I'll take a pulse next time. All right, here we go. You're going to be on screen, both of you, when you're presenting. Pick a number from 1 to 10, Howard.
3.
Kelly.
7.
No, Howard.
6.
No, Kelly.
5.
Nope, Howard.
8.
Nope, Kelly.
9.
Yes. Are you going first or second, Kelly?
I will let Howard go first. I will take second.
The floor is yours. Tell me a story. Tell us a story.
What the fuck? Shit. Hey, look, Mr. Stevens. Look, I saw the eviction notice. Okay, I saw it, but hey, listen. I'm gonna get the money for you. I swear. Just give me 2 days. Just give me 2. No, I know I've been several months late already, but just give me 2 days. I swear to you, I'm going to give you all the money that you need for back rent. Look, let's just be reasonable about this, right? Look, the last couple of months have been hard, right? But prior to that, I've always been consistent with my rent, okay? Well, yes, look, I know it's a good apartment, and since when are you gonna? So there's other tenants you've been sure. Let's just come on, please. Look, please. Look, anything I'll do. Hey, do you need someone to clean your house? I could do that. Please, just look. I cannot. You can't just throw me out. I got nowhere to go. Okay. I haven't really made. Look, I'm not on good terms with a lot of my friends. All right. So just please, can you? Just give me any shot. No, come on, come on. No, please. I cannot be out in the street. Just, please. God. What the fuck am I gonna do? Someone I could freaking call. Wait. There's no one I could freaking call. Damn it, come on. Okay. One more call. All right. Hey, Ricky. Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. I need a solid, brother. I need a solid. I got nowhere to go. I was just thrown out. All right. Just give me one night. All right, and I'll be able to do something financially. Right. I'll be able to I'll be able to borrow the money. Yeah, they threw me out. My super was not hearing any of it, man. And I just need somewhere. Look, just somewhere for one night, maybe two at the most. Look, I understand that you have a new baby, and that's amazing. Look, I know she doesn't like me, but like I'm really desperate right now. I know your wife doesn't like me, but look, I'm really just desperate right now. But yeah. I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to go. All I got is my guitar and my heart and words. That's all I'm going to be able to do. Shit. All right, Howard, put it together. Put yourself together. Maybe you could get some money. Just panhandling, okay? All right, and you're here in Central Park. Just clear your mind. And maybe, just maybe, you got some time. Maybe you can make some money. Okay. Hey. No one's you're just walking by, all right? Just start. I was flying past the skyline, chasing stars with open eyes. Every fear just disappeared beneath those velvet skies. You were there with arms wide open, laughing like the breeze. In that dream the world was quiet. It was the best dream ever, better than real life. No pain, no pressure, just dancing in the light. The ocean sang the colors so time forgot to move. Woke up with your name on my lips, your name on my lips. It was the best dream ever, your name on my lips. We built
nights, kiss the moon goodnight, held forever in a whisper, wrapped in a silver light. Gravity stopped pulling, we were floating, just us two. In that dream I found a version of me only known to you. In that dream I found a version of me only known to you. It was the best dream ever, better than real life. No pain, no pressure, just dancing in the light. The ocean sang, the color sold. Time forgot to move. I woke up with your name on my lips. Your name on my lips. No. That was the best dream ever.
And again, guys, the brilliance here is that Howard had no idea he was doing this. He gave you guys a slice of his heart. He showed you a different side of himself you don't see here on TKN. This was Howard and his guitar in a dream. Kelly White. His dream in a wrestling ring. Take the floor whenever you will.
Fella asked me the other day, he said, why are you still here? Sleeping on this park bench, a bag full of gear. I sat up, felt better, felt a hell of a lot worse. I said, sit down. I'll tell you why I'm still here, stranger. And he did. I said, it was only about 3 nights ago. I lost the roof over my head, man. I said, job market went south. Unemployment dried up. Even a good landlord eventually, it's about business. They can't feed their family on excuses. I got evicted. And got a couple of my favorite books. I got my wrestling gear and a couple changes of clothes. It's not a lot to walk out the door with, but I did have friends. Now, the thing is, my friends weren't much better off than I was. They couldn't afford to feed me and put me up. But my old buddy Brad, I got a hold of him through a friend. And he said, well, so the old wrestling ring is still set up. He said, it ain't the softest in the world, but feel free to, go ahead and lay your head there at night and, use the facilities to keep yourself washed up till you get back on your feet. Felt like taking charity, which is not something I've ever been good at, but I really didn't have choices. Because it's at that time, if you've ever been there, you feel pretty fucking low. You can't even keep the rain off your head. You can't feed yourself. People start looking at you. It's amazing how many friends dry up in those situations. This is what separates real friends from those that just use the word casually. But I made my way over. It was a long walk. Couple of thumbs for hitchhiking, and I got there and Brad was there and he unlocked the building. Lights were dim. I walked in. He says, get you a night's sleep, brother. I'll talk to you in the morning. Locked up, left. I don't know how many times I'd been in that building, really. How many times I'd been in that ring. I remember the exact corners Sammy come off of with that corkscrew elbow when he took the title off me that one time. There's still a little stain on the wall where I used Dave's bloody head to actually autograph it. We kind of got in a little bit of trouble for that. And I could actually see the handle of that sledgehammer sticking out from under the ring that I had my retirement match, where Connor Cross had, sent me down the road. But the memory, getting in that ring and just remembering the crowd standing up, chanting "Thank you, Cage" at the top of their lungs, knowing this is my last time after 30 years of it. That was heartbreaking. To know I'd fallen so damn far from those days when I could roll up in a decent vehicle with my family. Everybody, clapping hands, slapping backs, calling me brother, to begging for charity and sleeping in a ring that wasn't being used. But what could I do? So I set my bag in one corner and took out my old coat, used for a blanket. I unbuckled a couple of turnbuckle covers and stacked them up to use for a pillow. Laid my head down. Old familiar smells, though. Locker rooms and wrestling rings, they kind of absorb that. And it's not something you really call can't really call pleasant. But it's about people. Blood, sweat, tears, literally. They've all three hit that ring. All of them have been mine at one time. But I laid my head down, my mind racing, on what could I do. There was one easy answer. Brad had plenty of guns. He'd let me borrow one. He'd find it eventually out in the woods. Check out. Call it a day. Didn't have anything else. I don't know how many hours I lay there. Finally drifted off to sleep. And as you do when you sleep, your mind wanders and goes to strange places. And mine ended up in a bright white building. And in this building, there weren't any chairs or other people at first glance. But there was a wrestling ring. One of the prettiest wrestling rings I've ever seen. The ropes were taped just perfectly. The turnbuckle covers were just immaculate. The canvas practically sparkled. It had made Vince McMahon envious on how pretty that ring was. And the ring had people in it. First one I saw was old Junkyard Dog, Sylvester, who I'd talked to a long time ago, and his gravelly voice, he said, "Hey, brother, good to see you." I nodded back. Same with Ivan Koloff, little short fella, but one hell of a guy. Gave me some of the best advice I ever had. Road Warriors were there, huge inspiration to me. And then I saw two other people. Guy nobody knows, named Wild Irish Mulligan. Big 600-pound man that was my best friend. And he come over and give me a big hug. Said, "Man, I've missed you." And I said, "Tony, man, I've missed you too." Then coming out from behind him with that shit-eating grin, it was Nate Thompson. The Dark Angel, Nate Thompson. Ryan James. Yeah. We grabbed hands. He slapped his big old paws around me. He showed me that bracelet I put in his coffin. He leaned in. He said, "Brother, we love you, but it's not your time." He says, "There's more to it. There's more you can do." He says, we know who you are. You're not a quitter. You know how to do things. And you do have friends. Start with Brad. You still got your gear. You can still, even at this time, make a difference. You can get out there and get your life back doing what you love to do. And all the other guys came over and nodded their heads and, said those same affirmations. And there was Big Tony nodding his head and giving me that shit-eating grin he has. Two of the craziest, funniest people you'd ever meet, him and Nate. And they said, well, while you're here, let's get in the ring and play around. And that's what we did. We got in there and bounced around and hit the ropes and clotheslined each other and jumped off the rope. And it was funny. None of the bumps hurt. None of the headbutts hurt. None of the chair shots hurt. It was just us boys having fun. The next thing I know, a stream of sunlight hit my eyes, and I blinked and woke up, and one of the big tall windows in the building, the sun was shining in on me. Man, I was different. When I'd laid down, I'd hit rock bottom. When I woke up, I was on top of the world. My brothers had told me what I needed to get back into life, to not borrow a gun and just make that last choice. So, stranger, why I'm here? It's because laying in a wrestling ring, the best dream of my life. That's why. So on I go. The stranger left. Thank you.
Kelly White, guys and gals. What you watched are two people who trust you, guys and gals, in the comment section. They trust you. They share things that are very intimate, very close to their heart. It's not easy to do that. It takes a lot of courage to do what these men did. And I'm sure they gained a new level of respect for each other in the process. And that's what this whole thing is all about. I got someone in the comment section, well, not in the comment section, in my personal messenger, as my cast will see it, saying, it feels like a dumb shit. I was just joking around. Loves this. Can't wait to do it again. That may be the case, but I promised myself a while ago that if I smelt bullshit, it wouldn't surround me. That's the opposite of what Howard and Kelly gave you. They gave you truth. They gave you honesty. Some comments here. Real friends build you up when you're at your lowest. Very true. Sometimes they go the other way because they're not friends. Sometimes you find out who they really are when you surround them with others. You start going, one of you's familiar with this, you start going, Kelly spoke of friendship. Have some of you guys and gals and pals experienced the type of friendship that Kelly brought up? Howard spoke of something meaningful through those lyrics. He turned to guitar when nothing else or nobody else was there for him. Yeah. I don't pretend, guys and gals and pals, to want to go in one direction in terms of tone or the other. I go where it's needed to go. Where we go exactly where we need to go right now. This is honest. I don't want to define it. I don't want to pick up a pen and try to describe what this is. But it's real. And that's why it speaks to me. As quickly as possible, judges, because we do have to go. I know it's tough. I don't envy you. You have the unenviable task of casting your vote. Whose story resonated most with you and why? Starting with Phil.
Oh, sure. Make me go first.
Okay, Phil, you can go third. Let's bring in Pete.
I guess we're laughing now, but I'm just in awe between Kelly and Howard. I knew you guys were very talented, and what I like to do is when someone story tells, and I know you wanted this quick, but I just wanted to get out there. Is like
No. Take your time, Pete. You weren't on earlier. Please take your time.
I like to close my eyes when someone's telling a story, so that way,
yeah,
I can like when someone's telling a great story, and I close my eyes and I can picture myself there, what they're experiencing, and that's what I experienced between both of you, which made it difficult because usually somebody story tells, I'll close my eyes, I just can't get it. But Howard, you're on the phone, you're arguing about the rent, and then you're at Central Park just picking up the guitar. Like I felt like I was there. And then what makes it difficult because Kelly, your storytelling, how deep you are, your emotions. I was able to be like I felt like I was there with you, experiencing what you were experiencing. So it's very difficult. I wish almost like I can go like, oh, Kelly this, or but peacefully I'm gonna have to go because you all want to know my vote. I'm gonna go with Howard.
Okay.
My vote goes for you, Howard.
But
you both, but guys, I mean, that was fucking awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you. Appreciate your vote as well, my friend. Thank you so much for that. Again, guys, from the heart of the peaceful one himself. Let's tally that in the back. Guys, in the comment section, we always tell you your votes count. And as I announced last Saturday, I announced what would happen during the Dr. Fink match. The Dr. Fink, Joe Rositano matchup that took place last week as they faced Stevie Ray and JW. I announced that it was a tie and they both get a win. I will announce the winner of Kelly White, Paul Mokeski versus Hauser and Jason this Saturday, and we'll find out who gets the win there as well. But right now, I need your votes. Who gets the win here? Stakes are high. Bring in Miranda and see who she votes for and why.
Wow. You guys both hit me like right here, I swear. I loved what Howard did. I even said I felt like I was watching a movie, all the actions you were taking us through, like the phone call and all the turmoil that you were going through. And then you went to the park and you were playing that beautiful song, which was really awesome to see you playing a whole like full song for us and the guitar and everything. I was like, wow, this is like a feature film. And with Kelly, I didn't even, I know you could go deep, but I didn't even know you could go that deep. Like that was really, really deep. I really appreciated what you did there a lot. And I know that was, probably like difficult for you in a way, even if you're storytelling, those emotions are so raw. I really, really appreciated that. Wow, this is really a difficult decision. I think I'll go with Howard as well. Just because of, like I said, the whole moving us through the whole story from start to finish. I really, really saw it. But I mean, Kelly, like I wish this could be a tie. Honestly, this was like really phenomenal. Thank you.
You're welcome. You. Let's bring in Phil.
But seriously, they both just went so deep. Both of them broke my heart. I loved the way Howard started out with that desperation, trying to talk to the landlord, calling friends, getting nothing, and just walking off to Central Park with the guitar, the only friend he really had. And that song was great. And you could see as he was singing the song, he got a boost. Little by little, as the words came out of his mouth, his spirit lifted. That was beautiful. Kelly, oh my God. Started out very matter-of-factly, kind of level. It was like you were avoiding trying to give us the story, which is human nature. You don't want to talk about stuff like that, but you had to. And you dug in there and you let it fly. Holy moly, you guys are great. I love this. I'm gonna go with Howard.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Phil. Now let's bring in Giselle. Cast a final vote.
I am disagreeing with all of my fellow judges here. Howard, I couldn't understand a word you were singing in that song. Your voice was so low and so soft, and although emotion plays a huge role in that, you're using it as a storytelling device. You're not using it as a separate action of the story. So I still need to be able to hear what you're singing, what you're saying, and what you're trying to convey with that song. Are you, it sounded like you were almost singing that for yourself as opposed to using it as part of the story to find out what happens when people pass by. Are they ignoring you? Is that adding to your frustration? What's happening there? And Kelly, again, took me on a journey, and I felt like I was in there living his experiences with him. And it's like opening your favorite book. You can open it and you're there. And when you close it, you're still in that world. And that world stayed with me this entire time. So my vote is going to Kelly.
Let's bring in everybody right now. Phil, Miranda, and the Peaceful One. Guys, I tallied your votes. I put them up on screen, as you could see. I want to make sure everybody sees them. All right, guys, here are your votes. You speak your mind, and I guess what this means right now, guys and gals and pals, is Howard is still part of the team challenge. However, his new teammate in the team challenge is one Kelly J. White. Kelly, I gotta ask you this question. You gotta be disappointed about teaming up with Paul Mokeski a few hours ago, now finding out that Howard is your teammate in this team challenge. Your thoughts, Mr. White?
Well, not the way I wanted it to go. I wouldn't change a damn thing about what I did, though.
I wouldn't either.
No, definitely.
I'm very proud of that piece.
It wasn't a piece. It was a piece of your heart. What I'm proud of is that you trusted us, because I know trust is not something that comes easy in this world. But you trusted us, man. It means a lot to me. I don't take that for granted at all. You sat here, and maybe part of you, not all of you, part of you said, "I'm going to save space over here. I'm with people that don't judge. I don't have to audition for anybody. I don't have to be somebody I'm not." And that story, and I think I also know more about your fallen brother than a lot of people do. And I want everyone to understand that Kelly had those same tears. And again, whether they're tears that trickle down our cheek or not, he has felt the same love and compassion for this man the moment he passed on. And that was a couple years ago when we did our tribute show to him. So see how much you love your friend still, how much you honor your friend, protect his legacy, speak his name, teach us about who he was. I love you for that, because that's TKN. And I thank you for that.
It is. It's really disappointing to lose Paul. I think we had a good vibe right off.
I do too.
Gelled really well together. I think we really, complimented each other. I would have loved to send Howard packing.
Yeah.
But as you said, Avi, part of what we do here is trust. Sometimes it's blind.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't like losing. But I also realize if you never lose, you've never really ever won, because there's no comparison.
Bingo. Howard, your thoughts?
Well, Kelly, I want to thank you for sharing what you shared with all of us. You and me have not seen eye to eye. And sometimes the reason for that could be because maybe that person has something that you admire and perhaps you lack. If we're able to put all that aside, maybe, just maybe, we could be some true contenders, Kelly.
Gonna say this, Howard. I think this contest that you have won fair and square proves that you're right in that. So I'm willing to set it aside, if you are, till the end of this tournament, and we combine our skills and run through this thing.
Howard? Agree?
All right.
You concur? Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are on the same page for now, because guys and gals and pals, the next time we see Howard Collado and Kelly J. White team up, who would have thought I'd ever utter those words? Who ever thought those words would be part of the same sentence? The next time you see Howard Collado and Kelly J. White on screen, it might go from bad to worse, because it'll be Kelly J. White and Howard Collado versus Stevie Ray and JW. That's right, a sneak peek of the Howard Collado JW matchup that's looming on the horizon. That will be something you witness. Wow. Before your very eyes, we will see Howard Collado and JW in no time. And guys, they may be seated next to each other. They may be civil at the moment, but Miranda and Phil, watch their Facebook pages, because shots have been fired there. That's a second round matchup that we have. And of course, the third rounders are watching Kelly White, Giselle, Peaceful Pete. They're kicking back, but not for long. They've enjoyed an extended stay for the last 6 months. But soon their numbers are going to be called sooner rather than later, because they've been waiting for a long, long time at round number 3. Which means they will be some of the first participants in round number 3. They will be going at it. So, guys, buckle up, because not many matchups are left. Trust me when I tell you that, although we still have a ton of great talent. We also have, guys and gals and pals, an amazing matchup this Saturday night. Look at this. 2-time Emmy Award winner and WJ Award nominee Robert Wall. We know him from Arliss. We know him as the man who won the Emmys for writing the Oscars. So Tony Award winner, 3-time Emmy Award nominee and Golden Globe nominee Joe Montana. This guy's got so many accolades that if I read them all, we'd be here for another 3 hours. Film and TV great Diane Franklin. She's here as well. Guys, 2 out of 3 will move on. 2 out of 3 will advance. It's this Saturday night. Again, where do you see such a collection of talent? What will the topics be? Who will move on? You determine the outcome. Make sure you're checking out the posts of a Kelly White, a Howard Collado, a Miranda, a Pete, a Phil, a Hauser, a Giselle, a Pinocchio Joe, Joe Rositano. Check them all out. There'll be some videos. There'll be some lives. There'll be some great posts and information. And my preview post is this Friday, chock full of information. So, guys, when you watch this show on Saturday night, don't leave, because you will find out what matchup we have not only the following Saturday, June the 21st, but you'll also find out what our matchup is next Wednesday during the Black Box Team Challenge. All that to say that we will also find out who won this matchup tonight. Was it Jason London and Hauser? Was it Paul Mokeski and Kelly? You may ask yourself, well, what does that happen? Well, if Kelly White and Paul Mokeski won, they both get points. Kelly can take those points with him, and Howard essentially will probably thank Kelly for that, because those points will carry over. And then, of course, if Paul Mokeski and Kelly won, Paul will keep those points as well as I introduce his new teammate. So, guys, a lot going on right now. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for understanding and respecting the long form. Thank you for being real, because guess what? The easy way out is doing what everybody else is. And quite frankly, if that's what you're a part of, count me out. I'd rather take the road less traveled.